All right, welcome everybody to the World of Dragons podcast, the podcast where 2.5 dragons, usually TM, get together to discuss dragons in movies, cartoons, TV shows, books, so on and so forth, to help other dragon fans find the next piece of fantasy material they want to delve into.
Media.
Yeah, media in general. I don't know, do you consider books media?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, to me, media has to be like mostly like visual and like moving and whatever.
I mean you said
that's
visual.
talk for another day.
Right now, it's 1.5 dragons and a wolf.
Yay.
Yeah, because we're doing the second part to Warcraft, because these two wanted to talk more about it. And Dilettante not being a true gamer, he is sitting this one out.
If I didn't mention on the last episode, World of Warcraft, I mean, like, I did the thing that you're never supposed to do with MMOs, which is drag your significant other kicking and screaming through it, whether they want to or not. And
telling them how to play.
And I won't say that I basically said, if you don't play this game, then we're through.
You don't love me?
I never got to that point, but, like, I've joked about it, which is probably bad.
And here we
are. It's a bad joke.
But, yeah, it's like, he played with us through the intro, and then once we got to the, once we got through the Drakthir intro to the main game, he gave up immediately.
He's just not an MMO person, which is fair. He's more into base builders and RTSs.
And single-player games, which, fair.
Yeah. If we sound weird, all three of us are varying degrees of sick.
Hell yeah.
I also want to apologize for this episode being so delayed after the last one. I think we actually completely missed an upload, which I don't think we've done.
Partially
so far.
my
We usually
fault.
had a backup plan, here's Ray's solo episode to kind of fill the gap.
Yeah.
But the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, were kind of crazy. Bantam and I went on a vacation that was kind of decided last minute. We basically looked at each other, looked at Tanith, well, we need a vacation, looked at our work schedules to see when our first opening was, how far ahead in time has the schedule been made, and went up, week of the 23rd, there we go, vacation, let's go. And now we're suffering for it.
Yeah, it's like, how dare us need a break after the brutal holiday
season.
Holiday season. So, yeah.
So you just get some much deeper than normal sultry voices from all three of us.
I'm
ready
really
for the deep voice.
I'm really upset that we didn't record yesterday, because yesterday my voice was way deeper.
Oh, there was no way in hell I could have done yesterday.
I know, but I wish that I was at the state I was yesterday just for recording, because at one point I because I was playing as Minotaur, and so male Tauren voice, and I just said what he said, and I was like, oh my god, I sound just like him.
I am the Tauren now.
All right, so everybody, let us know right now. Next time Bantam's sick, he's gonna have to record an ASMR roleplay video, right? Those ones you find on YouTube that I've talked about before. And Zana asked me for what's a good one, and I'm like, there are no good ones, but here's some decent ones.
They're different levels of bad.
The next time I'm sick, I'll record an ASMR, just a male Tauren trying to, whatever, and it'll be funny because he sits you down and then leans in and whispers in your ear, I don't have enough rage.
I don't have a target.
I don't have a target.
Not enough mana.
What is mana?
He doesn't play mana classes.
Oh my god.
But the weird thing about ASMR videos like that is the thing that bothers me the most is this isn't real dialogue. Nobody talks like that. Nobody describes verbally what they're doing at every moment.
A pox on your family.
It's such a weird thing to get hung up on, I know, but that's what usually what makes it breaks it for me. To me, the perfect ASMR roleplay video would have a bunch of sound effects so that you don't have to completely narrate yourself 100%. You can let the listener kind of infer what should be going on, and or have a second voice be a narrator for the I have to tell you what's happening points.
So most ASMR, it does not have Foley. And the thing is that
I know
it's a lot more work. And I think
I know.
a lot of people are just lazy. Like there's one.
It's not that they're lazy. I think they're mostly amateur. It's like us. We don't have a full on like audio studio for the podcast. That's why there's a lot of background noises. That's why my microphone quality changes from episode to episode. Especially when I'm like, I want to experiment with this one.
We didn't
do
your 5 seconds of silence at the beginning.
I mean, I can just do it right now.
No, whatever. We're all sick anyway.
It doesn't matter. Background noises.
There is a really neat ASMR that I actually semi-enjoy. Being a longtime player of Magic the Gathering, there's literally an ASMR of just someone opening up a box with all 36 boosters in it.
Oh my god, are you going to find it and send it to Ray?
And it's oddly satisfying just because I do love that sound.
Is it somebody going like, oh, I got a blah, blah, blah?
No, it's none
no, it's
of
just
that.
crinkling plastic and the cardboard against cardboard.
Pretty much, yeah. You hear the with the of the ripping of the booster packs. It's like I said, it shouldn't be good, but it's oddly satisfying.
God, I love opening booster packs, but I'm too poor for it. I gotta order my singles.
No, you bought the whole booster box.
Yeah, okay, that was me splurging. That was my Christmas present to myself.
What did you get?
I think the best thing I got it was a booster box of Neon Dynasties, and I think the best thing I got was I got 2 copies of Tamio Completed Sage or whatever. I got the English one and the Phyrexian version.
Excellent.
And then I also got 2 versions of Jin Gataxis or whatever his name is.
Jin Gataxis.
Gataxis. I got the original art and the like alternate extended art version.
But no Phyrexian version?
No Phyrexian version of that.
The only one I've pulled of that is I had the green one, Vorinclex.
Yeah, I think those are the 4 most expensive cards I opened in that particular pack set. I got some good stuff that's going to go into decks, but like as far as like sheer raw value, I think those are the most expensive things I pulled.
Good stuff.
I don't. Opening some of these cards, I don't understand why there's Phyrexian versions of any. Because like, keep in mind, I'm not a Magic player.
We opened the Tamio Sage, and he's like, "What the fuck does this do?"
I'm sitting there. Like, imagine I'm trying to learn to play Magic. And you're like, okay, well, what's your favorite aesthetic? And I'm like, oh, this Neon Dynasties looks pretty cool. And you're like, okay. And so you're teaching me how to play. And then you throw a card down where I can't fucking read it at all. I have no idea what it does. I shouldn't have to look up on my phone what the fucking card does.
Well, you don't have phones?
Well, you don't have phones?
Oh, don't get me started there. But it's definitely a lore thing that because it was a thing they did a long time ago when... just when the Praetors came out, is that they made Elish Norn have the Phyrexian text, and everyone went ape shit for it.
All right, we're gonna stop the Magic talk now because I could go on for hours, honestly, talking about everything that I hate about it.
We're gonna move on
podcast. Minor dragon news. The only thing I can think of to talk about, by the way, Glide the Dragon. We're probably still gonna do that on the next episode as far as a little touch on it. It's not going to be a full episode, but we were under the impression that there would be story in the Glide demo. Because
we appreciate getting the little demo copy. We understand that. It's just with it only being a
mechanics,
an hour-long mechanical demo that doesn't have any storyline. There's not much to
talk
go
about
on in our personal format. It's much better suited to YouTubers who can show the gameplay while talking about it. But considering we talk about the storyline and the characters, there's not much for that there. We'll probably do like a quick 20-minute episode where we just talk about it.
What the hell is
But it
Glide?
won't be a full episode.
It's kind of a spiritual successor to Spyro. It's a golden dragon named Glide, Glyde, and but it looks amazing. And I've seen lots of progress on it. And Dilettante managed to contact the developers and get us some keys. Early access keys, but these early access keys are the same thing that Patreon users have. And from what Dilettante has said, there is zero story. It is literally a mechanical demo. So there won't be much to discuss, but we can talk about how the game feels. When the game fully comes out, we will have an episode on it.
Yeah. So when the game comes out, we get the actual press release, so we can have a review drop day one.
Yeah. So it's Snake Pass, but with Dragon.
Oh, I fucking love Snake Pass.
Well, no, Snake Pass is a puzzle game. They're not the same genre.
I know, but just an idea of just like what story. You're here to do snake things.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what you mean. A game with no story, yeah. All right, so as far as the Warcraft talk goes, Bantam said he wanted to go over a lot of the story stuff.
Let's go for it.
So I'll give you guys like an hour to talk about story because I don't want this episode to go longer than 2 hours. And the second half, I do want to complain about some mechanical things that like I epiphanied on.
I look forward
over the last like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, no spoiler break.
Well, yeah, the spoiler break was in the first part of the episode.
First part of the episode. So if you do genuinely care, now keep in mind, this is not Final Fantasy 14 levels of story. This is not like, I mean, it is decent. I actually think the story in Dragonflight was really good. Coming close to
Still is good.
It is really fucking good. But overall, if you take Dragonflight and add it with every expansion they've ever had, World of Warcraft is still nowhere near Final Fantasy XIV. But Dragonflight alone elevates it to Final Fantasy XIV levels. So, no spoiler breaks. The overall plot is that there is a lightning dragon named Razageth who is attempting to resurrect her brothers and sisters.
No, and free from imprisonment.
Free from imprisonment, her brothers and sisters. 3 other primal essence dragons. Earth,
Everything
fire...
changed when the fire dragon attacked.
Yeah. Earth, fire, and wind?
No, she's wind because she's storm.
Water.
Yep.
Is it water? Yeah. Now, I have killed Razageth. I have essentially beaten the story of Dragonflight thus far. I've killed Razageth twice already.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And Alifar.
hey, it's part of the game, man.
The thing is that like I thought about it. The second time I killed her, I thought about it. I kept looking at the raid finder, and it's like Razageth, heroic, know the fight, and I'm like, I know the fight, but
you don't know the heroic fight.
It's funny, yeah. It's all layers are different layers. So it's like LFR has a neutered down version. The normal is the normal. Heroic includes different things, and Mythic even includes different things.
Yeah.
Bantam, it's like in Final Fantasy, there's differences between normal and savage. They add mechanics.
I know. And so it's like, do I want to, sit here for an hour waiting to get accepted into a group and then make an idiot of myself? Or do I want to just do LFR, just get it over with for the vault slots?
I really wish we had a guild of 10 to 25 people so we could just, hey, everyone, we're going to go Razageth, let's go.
Remember when I said that you should probably join my server because I have an entire guild of furries?
No, we're on our server.
I'm just saying. I put that out in the very beginning. And they absolutely they allow all players to come. They have 2 raid groups, or one is a more hardcore centric. You probably wouldn't immediately jump into them. But you have the other ones where it's like, they're not going to tell you, hey, you're fucking up, or you suck, or up your DPS. It's like, no, we're just going to go at this until like we break through with our heads through a brick wall.
Hey, that's how I do it.
And honestly, there are enough differences of players that it's like, if for the people who want to play and still want to like sort of progress that way, they even got all the way through heroic. It's like they're doing.
I mean, if your guild has like a Discord, I'll join the Discord group and maybe can join up with them since they allow cross server play. But we have all our characters on a Netheron because we have our little server there. Or not our server, our little guild there.
The real reason for Netheron is because all the names that I wanted weren't taken on a Netheron.
We found a low pop server so we could have the names he wanted.
I spent like an hour checking every server for all the names I wanted and then took all of them.
I get that completely because I very much care about names. That's why I have stupid accents on top of a lot of letters of my characters.
Yeah, Ray doesn't at all. He didn't.
I do minorly, but it's like, eh.
So Razageth dead, and her.
I feel bad for her, honestly. Like I killed her too, and the cutscene at the end of the raid, I'm like, oh, I'm starting to join, like, sympathize with the primalists here.
You sympathize with all the bad guys.
I'm a bad guy sympathizer. What can I say? But no, so again, understand, I know next to nothing about the overarching story of Azeroth, and we're not going to get into that. That's going to be a nightmare on the podcast. But, like, I see things from her point of view where it's like, hey, really, the aspects did kind of betray, quote, Dragonkind. Even if the Titans were good guys, you looked out, the Titans were good guys, but, like, from her point of view, the aspects did betray dragons, and now the aspects are basically servants to all the minor races because it's like, nope, this is their world now. We gotta let them do their thing.
And also the fact that they're proto-drakes is a whole nother can of worms.
Well, the fact that they're proto-drakes means they were the original dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't.
That's what they should have been before. I like the way Alex Trouser, Caligos, and all of them look. I like how they look. I think the proto-drakes are really nasty, spelled with a G. Like, they're gnarly nasty, right? Like,
yeah.
the little arms.
I know, right? I can't take her seriously with those little arms. But despite the fact that I like the new version of the dragons visually, the proto-drakes were the original. It would be like if aliens came to Earth, took humans, and changed them into whatever. It doesn't matter what. The point is that they were changed and they're no longer what they were originally intended to be.
I mean, you should look at the human race as its own history. Neanderthals come to mind.
Yeah, that's different though, because that was natural evolution, not another being came over and changed you.
Yeah.
As far as we know.
Yeah. So, yeah, during unrelated during the Razageth fight, I remember the very first time I fought Razageth, and I'm just looking at her stupid little arms, and I'm like, "Ha! You can't do anything with those little arms." And then she just fucking slams with her giant ass wing. And I'm like,
I like that. I like her animations because the fact that she has useless arms means she smacks you with her wing and just that kind of felt satisfying.
Giant fucking claw on the tip of her wing that she uses to stab you with.
Yep.
Bam! Gave me Gore Magala vibes, and I enjoyed that.
Soren ended up getting the Razageth skin. I'm very jealous.
Oh, he got the mount?
Yeah, he got the mount.
Oh, what a sack.
Yeah. He's like,
okay.
He's like, look, I'm going to make Bantam really jealous. And I'm like, no, I'm actually really happy for you, considering I have like 7 best in slot items right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I got the Windswept pages and the wrist guards from Halls of Valor, and then I have my 4-piece set and Nelthorax.
Good stuff. Glad to hear that you're like pushing through and getting all the awesome stuff.
No, he's just getting lucky. He's not pushing through anything.
Fucking lucky.
Well, I mean, and even now that we're at 10.5, that's when they unlock the catalyst to be like, hey, just in case luck has not been on your side, here's the sorry luck failed you mechanic in the game.
Yeah, and it's a little bittersweet because now every hunter's gonna have Nelthorax possibly.
No, because Nelthorax is not it can't be upgraded through the catalyst.
Oh
Correct.
Shit! Oh sweet.
It's only like chest, pants, boots, gloves, and helmet. I think
It's basically your 5 pieces of tier, and then your 4 other slots.
Oh, okay.
But your weapon will still always be a drop luck king bullshit thing.
Well, then yeah, I got lucky.
Oh yeah, like I said, you got that early on.
I got it early on, and
you got that week 1 from a random box.
From
awesome.
from what's his name, the guy lifting weights in the dresses. During his very first, do this arbitrary bullshit and get a Vault Treasures box, and I got Nelthorax, and I hadn't even heard of it at that point. And then I remember looking up a best in slot. I'm like, oh wait, this is my best in slot. And then
he finally read the equip text. He's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Unfortunately, though, it does breed bad habits. I've been reading posts and I've been experiencing.
He doesn't kill trash anymore.
I've been experiencing it myself. It's like I really shouldn't be changing targets. If there is a boss and there is an ad phase, I really should not stop. If the tank pulls all the trash to the boss, then sure, I can use a lot of cleaves and AoE, but I really should not, if I can help it, untarget the boss. But it's like sometimes you just gotta.
Depending on the fight.
Yeah, depending on the fight. So it does breed a lot of bad habits of basically, I'm on my own. You guys handle the mechanics.
You are now understanding what it takes to be better at DPS in a game. It was one of the things that I hated, but I also now understand. It's that you actually have to be a greedy asshole. Like most of the times, if there would be like in Razagath Phase 3, where it's like, everyone has like the little thing underneath their feet.
The bubbles they have to pop?
Yeah.
Which no one does.
Exactly. It's because a lot of people are greedy. But it's anytime you have a mechanic like that where it requires everyone to really kind of do their own thing to push past it. A long, long time ago, I used to be like, oh, I will help and do the mechanic as much as I possibly can and help everyone else who isn't doing the mechanic. But it's like, gee, why are you like 3rd from the bottom of DPS?
Yeah. There was during the second Razageth fight, I actually did something that the entire raid called me out for in a positive way. They had explained the mechanics a dozen fucking times, and the people who were getting frustrated with the people who weren't listening started to compensate for them, which probably bad, but whatever. There was this group of people who were just not popping their bubbles, and so I noticed that they had all grouped up on one side of the arena, and when they dropped their bubbles, they all dropped them basically on top of each other. So I just targeted one, and I used Wailing Arrow, which is an AoE interrupt, and it popped all the bubbles, and someone was like, "Fucking nice work, Edible!" And I was just like, "Thanks!"
It's, like I said, the game is great, and I'm actually been very happy that both you and Ray have kind of started to enjoy it.
Well, no.
Wait till we get to my complaining section.
No. So kind of started to enjoy it. You're completely wrong. I absolutely love it. I don't think I will go back to Final Fantasy until 7.0 drops. I will say that the story for Final Fantasy is always going to be better than World of Warcraft. Dragonflight has improved on the story aspect. Some of the quest lines were absolutely amazing. However, Final Fantasy's story has always been consistently great, but the end game, there is no end game for Final Fantasy. It's boring.
That's what I have a problem with.
It's boring. The raids, the 24-man raids, boring.
Well, you're supposed to do the Savage 8-man.
The Savage 8-man, stupid. First of all, I don't like the fact that it's a dance. Ray likes the fact that basically if you watch a Savage raid, it basically is a synchronized dance. I don't like the fact that as a DPS, I have to move constantly to be in a specific, not to avoid damage.
You can't even complain. You play a machinist. You don't have a cast time.
That's also the other funny thing, Nomad, is I play as a machinist in Final Fantasy, which is basically the Beastmaster without a pet.
I was going to say, and now you chose a Beastmaster who is the ranged carry that has no cast times to anything. It's like, man, if you play a mage or a warlock, you'd hate life.
Oh, no, I know. I absolutely, I know from the group that we run with, whenever a mechanic goes out and I see someone start casting and then move and then start casting and then move, and they're like, "God damn it." Also, I want to tell you a brief little funny story.
Do tell.
Well, what about the story of Warcraft?
It's really, really quick. It's that one that we did. So we because of the fact that we all kind of beat the game and we're all just doing mythics now and then, we decided to create a Volpera squad, where we're all playing as Volpera.
Now, you remember that guild that I told you about?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what the name of the guild is?
No.
Foxtail Caravan.
So yeah, we're all playing as Volpera. I'm the monk so that I can be healer or tank or whatever. Kalina is playing a Death Knight. Ray is playing a Marksman Hunter. And I guess if you increase your mastery stat, you increase your range.
Yeah.
And so Ray has been having a lot of fun just doing all the damage and being super far away.
I'm fighting the bosses at max range on purpose because I'm like, look how far away I am.
Okay, so we're fighting a boss, and I don't remember what dungeon it is. All I know...
It was the end of one of the Scarlet ones. I can't remember if it was Monastery or Barracks or whatever the fuck.
But yeah, one of the bosses was just like a knight, like in a church. And Ray is on the other side of the fucking church as we're fighting the boss. And Ray goes, "Look how far away I am. I can ignore all the mechanics." And the boss targets him, teleports to him. And Ray goes, "Oh no!" And it was the funniest shit I'd ever seen in my life.
It was pretty good comedic timing. Like, the story doesn't really capture how humorous it was in the moment. Because literally the moment I finished my sentence of, I don't have to worry about mechanics at all. Ah!
Yeah.
Because I got immediately targeted by a mechanic.
And playing as a monk, I have the death touch ability. And so once I hit level 20, it told me to go back to my dojo and talk to my trainer. So I was like, all right. And he goes, "Yeah, we're going to teach you enlightenment and, blah, blah, blah. You just need to go spar with so-and-so." And I'm like, okay. Now, right now there's an event going on, the Lunar Festival.
Yep.
And I launched some rockets for the Lunar Festival, which gave me an additional 4,000 health. And the text on Death Touch is that as long as the enemy has less health than me, I just kill it. Mm-hmm. Which, having an extra 4,000 health at level 20 kind of means that I can Death Touch anything. And so I'm standing there, and the trainer, a Pandaren monk, is like, "Okay, bow to me and we'll begin." And I bow, And as soon as he turns red, I go, death touch, and he just dies from full health. And I was like, I win.
That was that's something that you would have enjoyed Torghast as a monk. Is that there are, because you know that little zone where you gain like extra powers and stuff like that?
Yeah, I did Torghast once or twice with Ray.
So yeah, with a monk, your health becomes ridiculous, and you can start death touching bosses.
It is really funny. As soon as that thing lights up, it's like straight dopamine. As soon as I see that little red mark appear,
like,
and it's
I don't want to deal with
yes.
this mob anymore. Press.
Yeah, I do it all the time. It's a 3-minute cooldown. You know, if it was a 10, if it was a, he also hates that I can just crane kick everything and just spin around and just hit everything. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to tell stories about Volpara Squad. So, World of Warcraft story.
So now we have the three aspects that are left.
Well,
not aspects. You mean the
three others. Who gets 5 bonus points and can name them?
Fuck that.
Isn't one of them Ignatius or something like that?
I mean, it's
no. That's the Spyro Dragon.
Are you talking about the Primalists, or are you talking about the actual aspects?
The three.
No, the Proto Dragons.
Yeah, the 3 Proto Dragons that Razgath released. I hear that.
No,
I hear that.
Shut up. No,
I hear it.
I want the 5 points. Yeah, no, I don't know. They don't. I mean, like they mention them in passing, but they don't. Yeah, I can't even find it on here.
So I know it's Varanoth, Therak, and Idrikon.
Idrikon is the one that everybody thinks is going to be the actual boss, because from what I remember of the story, the other 2 kind of just went along with the war, whereas Idrikon, the Earth one, right? The Earth one was the one who actively tried to spur the war on further and harder.
That's what Noistormu said.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he's the most dangerous of, because the other 2 were kind of just like, all right, whatever, I guess we're doing this. Whereas the Earth Dragon was like, yeah, we're fucking doing this. Let's go. Apparently he also sold part of his soul to an old one to continue the war. Like he got an extra power from making deals just to prolong the war or to win it. So he's the most dangerous of the 4. I mean, we already killed Razagath, so. And now that we have killed one of his siblings,
now it's
personal, and he's also the one that's the most dangerous. So,
because he's the one that made a pact with one of the local element things on the Dragon Isles a long, long time ago, and just kind of fucked it up for a lot of people.
Can I just say that I enjoy in the cutscene when Kalecgos comes back and says, "Well, Razagath gets dead, but kind of let the other 3 out." And Noistormu was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Just facepalm like, oh god.
It's like we need our aspectral powers to defeat. It's funny how the way they talk about getting their aspectral powers back means that they'll just like bitch slap all the dragons back to the Stone Age. And it's like, but nope, can't get them. It's also weird that, so the way the story is structured, if you were to start the game right now at level 60 and go through the entire Dragon Isles expansion, you'll get about, what do you think, like 60% of the whole story.
Yeah.
The rest of it is locked behind.
You won't understand a few callbacks, but
yeah, the rest of it is locked behind reputation gains to unlock additional parts of the story.
That's what you mean.
Yeah. Because 2 of the story chunks are locked behind the Dragon Scale expedition, and then 2 more are locked behind the Valdrakken reputation.
Yeah.
And then I don't think the Minotaurs, the Centaurs have any.
No, because they were just tacked on there to be filler content.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the Tuskar have 1, but it has nothing to do with the dragons.
Is that the thing that I just did?
Yeah, well, he skipped all the dialogue. He skipped all the dialogue of, he's like, I don't know, I'm carrying this otter back to camp, and I'm like, Ray!
There's a dead otter here.
And I'm like, are you skipping the fucking dialogue? He's like, yeah. And I'm like,
I don't like the Tuskar.
I don't like the Tuskar either. I really don't. I don't understand why everybody's obsessed with them. They're just fat, stupid fucking walruses.
That's most of the player base.
It's just
Bazinga.
They're just stupid walruses. They're not cute. They're annoying and they're ugly. I like their culture. I like the Eskimo, tribal culture. I love their
I like their.
I love
Here, Caligos, have some fucking soup.
I that was adorable.
I'm at soup.
I love their weapon and armor aesthetics. I do not like them as a race. I think that they're dumb looking. But
what should they have been besides walrus people?
I don't know.
Polar bears.
Polar bears. They throw the fucking.
No, then they're too close to the furbolg.
Yeah, make them white furbolgs.
They were already white.
Oh, well, they're a bunch of different colors. But yeah, I like everything about them except for the fact that they're walruses. Even if they were just taller and like less like comically round, I think I'd like them. I just don't like the fact that
I think they're better at being short and comically round. They're more like dwarfs rather than just his version.
Well, yeah, if you're a normal race, but I'm smaller than them. I'm a Volpera.
With the worst head ever.
What, the Volpera?
Yeah.
Oh, because I can't wear helmets?
It's the proportions are just comedically bad.
Well, so I have the eye patch, and that's it. That's the only helmet I ever need. However, I did manage to go into the Argus raid, or I don't know what the name of the raid is, but it's the one in Argus.
Probably Antorus.
Yeah, and I went there specifically to get a helmet, and I ended up getting it. And it's the one where it's like the top half of a Naga head with glowing eyes and tentacles that hang down in front of it, and I love it.
Those are just whiskers.
And because, well, the only reason I wanted that helmet was because I was running around in Zul'Gurub, and I managed to get the bow that looks like a cobra. So I was like, well, now I got a snake aesthetic.
I'm trying to remember if there was another snake bow. I don't remember if it was on Burning Crusade or not.
If there is, then they don't put it in the thing, because I've very exhaustively looked through the weapon glams.
Okay. I'll have to take a look again, but I thought there was. I could be wrong.
Either that, well, from what I understand, there's a lot of weapon glamours that don't show up in the list. Ray really wants to make a Worgen rogue, and have him using the hand scythes that apparently you can get from any treasure chest in Argus. I say Argus. I know Argus is the ship, but in that area. Place at the end. But in that area, if you have a chance to loot from any of the chests. You have a chance to loot the little hand scythes, and I ended up going there to see if I could get one for him, and I got it first try. But then I found out that it is soulbound on a pickup. It's called the Splintered Talbot Bone Sickle, and it literally looks like the one from Death from Puss in Boots. And it's a one-handed axe, so I believe the rogue can do what Will does. Like, as far as change the glamour.
It's called a splintered what?
Splintered Talbot Bone Sickle.
Oh, the Talbot, okay. There it is. Yes, it is. All right.
All right. Enough talking about glamour on a no visual podcast. Back to the story you wanted to talk about so much?
Yeah.
Tangent time.
Listen.
That's how I live.
That's what people want in a podcast. Tell them.
Well, we're not doing a part 3, so get it out of your system.
Tell them.
And why not? Like, comment, and subscribe if you want more Nomad content.
Yeah.
I mean, there can be more Nomad content. Start reading books with us.
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. There we go.
I like how that was.
So it is said, so it is sealed.
Like,
now you're trapped.
Oh, fuck. He said okay. Okay.
No, now you're trapped.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the whole game starts with it. Now this is coming from the perspective of someone who isn't a Drak'Dir, so Ray can fill in the part about Drak'Dir. But essentially, a new island opens up. There is a little fourth wall break joke in the game about cartographers finding new continents every few years, and that it's a lucrative career. But
It's fucking awful, is what it is.
What?
it's been one of my main complaints about just Azeroth as a world. It's like they have all of these airships and ships, and they fly
People are
through
like,
the
we should have
sky.
found the Dragon Isles by now, just from the freaking Alliance sailing to Northrend all this time.
All of the islands. It's like you're telling me the millions of trips back and forth between Kalmador and the Eastern Kingdoms. No one found Northrend. No one found Kultaris. No one found just all of these islands. It's like, how did no one see this shit? It's so frustrating.
Gee, I wonder what's on the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So, so you find the Dragon Isles, and the Drakthir have awakened from, what is it, like 10,000 years?
10,
very
20,
very long
like
sleepy time.
Very long sleepy time. They awaken, they manage to escape their island, and they come to, they, depending on Alliance or Horde, they come to Azeroth. And each one of them independently enlists the help of the Alliance and the Horde to help them essentially reclaim their island and help uncover their history. And around this time, the Alliance and the Horde have finally decided, hey, let's knock this shit off. They are no longer fighting. I think it's because
we hope
the biggest joke is that Shadowlands was so bad that it beat the fight out of the Horde and the Alliance. But yeah, they finally, because every expansion is the Horde and the Alliance eventually kind of teaming up to defeat the big evil and then going back to infighting. But you know, some of the side quests, some of the story of the side quests in Dragon Isles really lend to that this is permanent, that they're not going to be, they're going to be no more Horde versus Alliance, and that any of the PvP stuff will basically be friendly rivalries at this point. Because there's the one quest line that what's his name, Talash, the icicle guy, Ice Cold.
I think it's Talash Greywing, but I don't remember for sure.
Yeah. So the thing is that this is the first time I've ever played an expansion as it comes out, you know. And so you do the side quest that has Talash Greywing, who is trying to uncover the secrets of this vault. And
what is she hiding?
And the thing is the two main characters, aside from yourself, in this side quest are a Alliance human and a Horde blood elf, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're working together. And what ends up happening is like the blood elf ends up sacrificing himself to make sure that Talash doesn't blow up the whole continent or whatever. And the human mourns his death and then buries him and puts a headstone up, and then basically is just kneeling in front of his grave for the rest of the game saying, I need some time. The fact that it is a little abrupt that they're suddenly this close, you know, the Alliance and Horde. But yeah, the amount of side quests where there's always an Alliance and a Horde character, and they act like nothing is wrong. Like, oh yeah, we're best buddies. And it's like, okay. It's, you know, like, not even a little animosity.
And that's been one of the minor complaints over the last years, is that, like, the higher ups of the Horde and the Alliance are besties. And yet, like, they can't stop the war between their races and their everything. It's like, it just never made any sense.
Who is the current leader of the Horde and current leader of the Alliance?
The current leader of the Horde.
Wait, hold on. I want to guess. I want to see how good I am.
Okay.
Because I mean, it's been passed around the Horde a whole lot.
Let's see if you can get five bonus points. Who's leading the Horde?
The Horde. I was gonna guess Bane, but I don't think that's right.
Keep going.
What, like a second guess?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's...
I don't know. I think it's some troll that they brought in.
Nope.
No? Okay, whatever. Who's the Horde?
It is a council.
That'd be why I don't know, because they don't have a war chief anymore.
Sylvanas
ruined it for everybody.
Sylvanas was the last acting war chief.
Fuck you, Sylvanas.
Fuck you, Sylvanas.
Nothing wrong with Sylvanas.
Everything.
Nothing.
All right, so who's the leader of the Alliance then?
I mean, it's supposed to be Anduin, but he's disappeared, and so I don't think there's an acting leader right now.
It is.
I don't know.
So it is, in fact, one of the Paladin house people. I mean,
it's a stewardship right now, I think.
Yeah.
So basically, the fact that there isn't any like full leader, they have cooler heads prevailing.
Now it's funny. Oh yeah, it's Master Matthias Shaw.
Oh, hey, I have a question about Anduin because I just see the shipping side of the internet all the time. Is there any chemistry between Anduin and Rathian? Or is that just all the shippers?
Rathian is... Oh, yeah, it's definitely the shippers. In fact,
okay, all right.
It was very much... I can show you. It's like, well, because Anduin, when he was a child, and when Rathian, when he's still a child, were semi-close, but... Rathian did a lot of bad things that actually was the downfall of Anduin's father, and it's like why he died. And then after I think it's like 3 or 4 years with no Rathian, he literally walks back into Stormwind and goes, Anduin, my old friend,
yeah,
and he decks him right in the face.
And to the point where it actually shows some of his scales like on his cheek, and then it like wipes away.
He breaks his
glamour briefly, and Rathian's like, I suppose I deserve that, like. The fact that it seems like
kudos to him for having the balls to punch a dragon.
Yeah.
I mean, he basically killed his father, so it's like, hey.
Yeah, I mean...
But yeah, I think that's where the shipping came from, is like, that felt like a lover's spat. Also, real quick...
Fine, I hate Rathian.
I was going to say, Sibelian or Rathian, Nomad.
It's always going to be Rathian.
It's always going to be Sibelian.
Fuck Rathian. He just gave you a knife. That's all you care.
No, so here's the thing. Aside from the quest, so there's a quest.
I feel like we had this discussion last time.
Paladins can't use knives.
Well, he gave you a cloak then.
It's the thing is, for me, story-wise, he makes the most sense, whereas Sibelian, I think, is going to betray the Black Dragonflight.
Well, we'll see. But
honestly, if they write Sibelian to be
It was me the whole time.
I existed in the sidelines for 5 expansions, and I come back just to betray everything. It's like, that's terrible writing on Blizzard's part, and fuck the writers at that point.
Disagree.
But I'm still for Team Netherian.
You still haven't watched Rings of Power, have you?
What? Oh, the Lord of the Rings stuff?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Oh, man, I'm going to get on you on that one. But
why?
A big thing of it is because he's a big, giant question mark. Why would you auto-trust someone who wasn't around for the last 5, in this point, 10 years?
I mean, I trust him more than the power-hungry, impudent child that has manipulated released criminals, and everybody who vouches for him is on his fucking payroll.
Except that he's actually done more arguably good things for Azeroth than Sibelian has. But now, just because Sibelian hasn't been here, and now he's all of a sudden back, and he's everyone's bestest best friend...
okay, so the weird thing is like, I understand in the lore that the dragons are supposed to be the caretakers of Azeroth, but pushing that
Black
aside...
Dragonflight.
Specifically them, yes. But I mean all of them in some capacity. But pushing that aside, I personally am a dragons first, Azeroth second kind of person. And I feel like, you say Sibelian hasn't done a lot for Azeroth, but I feel like Sibelian's done a lot more for the Black Dragonflight.
He literally wasn't even on Azeroth.
Well, because he couldn't because of the corruption. Whatever. We had this discussion last episode.
It's gonna be,
but no, I still am holding hope that Notherian comes back somehow. I mean, there's always so much time shenanigans going on between the Murazan storyline and now we're fucking throwing Eternus into this.
There's a lot of new threads that were created in this expansion that have not been resolved yet. For example, toward the end of Dragonflight, when you're in the last area, the 4th area near Thadraszus, you end up helping Chromie and the Eternus. And at one point, you're helping another Drakthir close portals. And when you close one of the portals, this dude steps out, and he's just like, "Where am I?" And she's like, "Oh, were you?
What timeline is this?
What timeline is this?" And when you answer, he goes, "Interesting." And then he just leaves, and he shows up at the camp, and he becomes a quest giver, and no one knows who the fuck he is. And
we still kind of have a loose end from the end of the Old Man revamped dungeon, though.
Oh yeah, that too. The Legacy of Tyr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you follow it,
I mean, and even the cutscene at the end of the Razageth quest line, even Noise Dormu was all like, "Oh my god, the future just got scattered, and I don't know what timeline we're in anymore." Yeah. So it's like, dude, totally bring Nitharian back.
Like the other thing is that one of the reputation unlock quests is you are literally resurrecting at least the body of Tyr. You restart the forge, the Titan Forge, and you recreate Tyr's body. And even though it's just a empty shell with no spirit, the other aspects look at it like, oh my god, it's him. You know, like, they're all like, oh god, I never thought I'd see him again. You know, and then they're like, well, it's not really him, but we'll leave him here. And yeah, you can go see him at any time after you complete that quest. He's just still standing there.
He's just chilling there.
Whereas the Dragon Scale expedition, you end up uncovering all sorts of hidden Titan facilities scattered around the island. There's all these like little hidden portals that you can unlock as an engineer that are like, they look like little manhole covers all over the world. Real fun stuff. But there's a lot of threads right now that are open that, you know, are going to get closed. A lot of people think that, you know, the final boss of this expansion will be the Earth Primalist Dragon, but I don't think that that's true, because that's kind of...
I don't think so.
That's kind of boring.
I think he's going to be the boss. He's going to be the boss of season 2.
He's just kind of boring, in my opinion. It's like...
I agree.
We already had this, just in lightning flavor.
Yeah, it's like, it's a different flavor of the same boss. It's like, no, it's not going to be him. I think the final boss of the expansion is going to be, and I don't remember his name, but basically the original Proto-Drake that...
Galakron,
yeah. Galakron.
Yeah, that's what Nomad said.
Yeah, I think it's going to be him, and if it's not him, then...
The thing is, I agree with it should totally be him. But I say if they don't go the Galakron route, they should go through Time Portal, pull him into the future, rather than just resurrect his bones, because we already had a whole bunch of undead dragons with Lich King.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I don't want
so it's Galakron would be my phase 2 end boss. I genuinely think it's going to end with us finally putting down Norse Dormu, or his actual incarnate version, Murazan. Yeah,
that would suck.
Because not really, because it's the thing is,
I look forward to Murazan.
In previous expansions, it's been hinted at forever. In fact, they even have a cutscene of him.
Here's the only problem with that, and I actually watched a lore video the other day on this. They have very, very, very solidified the canon that he dies at the hands of adventurers in a dungeon, and they can't change that.
Correct.
That he has always seen it as being this is where he dies. Always. They can't really take this dungeon and turn it into a raid and have events change.
It can be.
I don't know.
Just because this dungeon doesn't mean it can't be a raid. Because the big thing with Galakron is that he's uber dead. So
no, he's talking about Murazan.
No, Galakron is uber dead. He's beyond dead. His bones still exist in Northrend. So unless he's going to be resurrected through unknown fucking means, we're going to be playing with time.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're playing with time, that means Murazan is going to be involved.
Yeah, time is always a big bag of shit, and that's why I don't usually like storylines that mess with it, because the doors you open that should not be opened.
Welcome to why everyone hated what's it called, that expansion, Warlords of Draenor.
Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah.
It's like, here's an alternate universe. Fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much.
But the point is that Bantam, even though Murazan died in that dungeon or whatever, that was one of his deaths. In the infinite timelines, he could also be a raid boss. In another universe, he wins and takes over everything. It's like, that's the problem with infinite universes and infinite timelines.
The only exception, you're right. However, Murazan. So this lore video that I watched has stated that Murazan himself has stated, "This is exactly where I die." he knows for a fact that it is not going to happen any other way. It is only this way that he dies.
And it's by the heroes.
And it's by the heroes. But point being is that can't remember his real name now. Norsdomu admits that he knows exactly the moment he is going to die by the hands of the heroes, and it is here and now, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think they can change that. And the guy who made the lore video even said, it's like, if they change that, it's going to be lazy and really bad.
You want to know my tinfoil hat theory?
What?
So we just had the 18th anniversary of Warcraft, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My tinfoil hat theory is there is no expansion after Dragonflight. When we hit 20 years, they're going to Eorzea 1.0 it. They're going to just shatter everything, perhaps using timelines, everything converges, everything explodes, whatever. Warcraft will end, and we'll go on to Warcraft 2, which will be an entirely different universe storyline, telling, whatever.
There's no Horde versus Alliance.
It's only a tinfoil hat thing because they have something set up, and that they have laid the groundwork for 3 expansions for. It started.
Well, the thing is,
it started with Legion, and it can easily just be dealt with in the next expansion.
Maybe. I feel like 20 is a good number to end on. Like, hey, you got 2 decades. There could be one more expansion, and then they'll hit the big giant reset button. But the reason why I think there is going to be a reset button is because a lot of the problems with Warcraft is baked into the code so deeply that it would require a complete revamp to fix.
Well,
a lot, like all the problems with the Horde versus Alliance stuff.
They might do that.
And why the guilds and party finder doesn't work when you're cross faction.
So it's one of the things that they've been doing with. Did you know anything that happened in Legion?
You mean storyline wise or development wise?
Both. I mean mostly story.
I've gotten a probably 75% of it because I went through all of Legion to finish my class hall quest. And then
I'm pretty sure the only thing I know about Legion is that I think Illidan raised the Naga city from the ocean floor, so now you can go to Azshara. But I think that's the only thing I know.
That's one of the things, but it does involve Illidan. And what the whole big thing was is that the Naru, who are the gods from not Azeroth, of the light, basically everything that the light is about, how they were they said that Illidan was the chosen one. And they were going to turn him into the chosen one, whether he liked it or not. And that was
we really need the edgelords to have a chosen one complex now.
But the thing was that he said, "Fuck off! It's like I am me," and it is one of the most edgelord statements, but it was probably the greatest things he said. And he said because the Naru said it's like we will heal all of your scars and make you reborn. And
but the scars are who I am.
Yeah, and he just yells out, "I am my scars." But so that was the first inkling that the Paladins and the Naru are actually kind of bad.
Well, they're bad in the sense that alignment is a circle, and if you go too far good, you start circling back around to being evil, because that's how you get stuff like crusades and all that.
Or angels that believe that anything wrong.
If you sin, you must be put down. Yeah.
And now the head of the Paladin Order is running the Alliance, whereas Anduin is somewhere. He's not running Stormwind. He's not running anything. And now the head of the powers is basically the head of the light. So the whole big storyline that they have actually that they can just roll out and be really fucking cool with is showing that the light is actually evil. It is something that my roommate calls. It's like the patch 11.0. The light is bad, actually.
Yeah, that's a trope that happens in some fantasy settings, and I personally am all for it. I like the concept of light being evil.
It's just 'cause it's not that it is evil. It's just that it's not 100% good.
It doesn't have your best interest in heart.
Correct. You can
it has its ideal, and if you fit into it, great. If you don't, well, shit.
And that's what I said. They've laid the groundwork to where Anduin is not here right now. He's not running anything, but the head order of the Paladins is. So he's now running things via the light. So it would be an easy fucking storyline because they usually touch on all of the other powers that Azeroth has, except for the Void. I don't think they could ever tell a story correctly with the Void. But that would be the next level of the expansion that they could roll. and it would actually be kind of cool.
The other major theory I've heard about the story of Dragonflight is that we're going to see a return of N'Zoth.
I'm expecting
a lot
that
of.
too.
I don't expect that, honestly. I think that's lazy fucking storytelling.
Well, no.
Was N'Zoth or Cthulhu the one that twisted Northarion?
That was Cthulhu.
So it technically was Cthulhu, because he was the one underground.
Okay, so it's like if my batshit theory works, and through time shenanigans we get uncorrupted Northarion, and he gets to lead the Black Dragonflight, and so the Drakthir get their dad again and everything. This is my ideal ending. I know it's far fetched, but if we do that, I feel like as he comes cross timeline, cross whatever, so would Cthulhu, and now we have. Instead of Northarion succumbing to Cthulhu, Northarion's got to fight Cthulhu, and so we got to help him do that. So that's the only way I see an old god coming back.
No, well, here's the thing. So I was reading a bunch of theories on N'Zoth specifically. When we fight N'Zoth during the raid, I mean, the whole theme is insanity and hallucinations.
Oh yeah, that was all just an image. It wasn't
the
actually
thing,
him.
well, it sounds lazy when the way you say it, but it's not. It's like the entire fight is fighting.
It was a dream all along.
Yeah, you're making it sound shitty, but the entire
it's more based on Cthulhu and all of oh fuck, I forgot the author's name already.
H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, it's all about insanity. And the thing is, with N'Zoth, it's like he actually wasn't even big on that. If Yogg-Saron was actually the Cthulhu of World of Warcraft, and hilariously, Yogg-Saron was also Yogg-Saron was one of the people in Result that made Galakron also go nuts. So it's like, if we want to tie into any old god, it would either be Cthulhu or Yogg-Saron.
It's just that a lot of people felt that the fight against N'Zoth was very like hand waved, wrapped up in a neat bow. Like, yep, he's dead. Goodbye. And it was like, this is an old one of the most powerful beings ever, and we just go in a raid and just end it. That's it. It's over.
And also to hit more tinfoil hat from Ray over here, talking about untidied threads from the storyline of Dragonflight. That's like, where are they going to go with this? We did have that brief period where we went through a portal and like, hey, here's N'Zoth land.
I love N'Zoth land. It's full of tentacles.
I don't remember what we were doing there, but it's like, while we're in here, we're getting all these whispers in the text box, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess that could be foreshadowing to something happening.
But N'Zoth is definitely one of the ones where they've thought about it, because there was a lot of talk about like his tentacles actually ran through a lot of Azeroth.
Hot.
I know. And a lot of people are like, because it was, no, it wasn't, I'm trying to remember what old god it was, but it was basically a bone from one of the old gods. Is one of
the only four I know are from the card game, and I only know them because of the card game. So I know Cthulhu, Yogg-Saroth, Y'Sharj, and N'Zoth.
It was Y'Sharj.
Okay.
The funny thing is that as much as I hate it, I also love the way World of Warcraft like kind of buries shit and forces you to go through a bunch of bullshit just to get. So here's the thing. I only started playing World of Warcraft maybe a month before Dragonflight came out. And that
was when we did our prep work to get people leveled up.
Yeah, I managed to get. They had a world event quest where I was able to get a fucking character from level 20 to level 70 in 2 days, because the just the amount of XP that you got from the Primalist invasions on Azeroth. But after Dragonflight came out, for downtime, when I was like bored or whatever, I would go and hunt down pets, because as a Beastmaster I can tame any animal I want. So naturally I had to get one of every color of the cobra. I had to get one of every color of this, that, and the other thing. Basically, I'd pick a particular model and then go hunt down every single color version of those. And then I found out about the serpent dragons, the big floaty eastern dragons. And I was like, well, I need those. So I went to Pandaren and I unlocked all that, and then I found out that there were 2 colors of floaty Eastern dragons that were locked behind Mogu invasions. So I was like, what the fuck is a Mogu invasion? I'm in this map zone and I never see an invasion. And so then I find out that it's during the Visions of N'Zoth. So I was like, okay, I guess I gotta go unlock that. So I went through an entire fucking story to unlock Visions of N'Zoth just so that I could go tame these stupid dragons. And turns out I still can't, because the only way you can tame them is with a toy that apparently just doesn't work anymore. Very upset about that.
Spaghetti code. This is why we got to do Warcraft 2.
I even contacted a GM and I got a response 2 days later. I was like, listen, I killed an Alliance player 10 times in a row, as you're supposed to, in war mode in this area. I'm supposed to get the Assassin of the Horde buff, and I'm supposed to get a quest to, go kill 10 more Horde people to become an agent of N'Zoth. And the GM responded, and he goes, well, there's lots of reasons why it might not have worked. Maybe your quest log is full. Maybe your inventory was full and you couldn't get the quest item. Maybe you just didn't wait long enough. I'm like, listen, my inventory was empty, my fucking quest log was empty, and I waited a half fucking hour, and it never popped. And he's like, I'm sorry, but it's not bugged. And I'm like, yeah, everything I'm reading online says it's bugged. And I kept reopening the ticket until they finally closed it, and I couldn't reopen it anymore. But in order for you to tame the pearl and pink cloud serpents, you need to have the Sliver of N'Zoth toy, and I'm never going to get it, so. But I unlocked Visions of N'Zoth, so I was able to go in and do that raid and get all sorts of tentacle weapons, so that was nice.
It's so funny, because as a paladin or even as a warrior, it's like, man, all those look ugly on them.
No, it's a Volpera. They're adorable. Everything on a Volpera is adorable except helmets.
Yeah,
they look like a bobblehead.
Oh, yeah. You're a paladin main, right?
Yes.
Like, how many alts do you have that you play consistently?
6.
6. I'm trying to figure out like your level of main. So it's like
none of them.
Like, oh yeah, I'm 20% paladin main.
I do not like having alts. I do not like having multiple characters. However, I have begrudgingly made a total of 4 characters, 1 of each armor type, so that I can at least unlock everything. So I have a priest, I have a monk, I have a warrior, and I have a hunter.
I was kind of like, so you being a paladin main, whatever level percentage main you are, how would you feel about the light being evil?
I think it'd be awesome.
All right, let's let Ray.
Any last story tidbits you wanna touch on?
I believe we talked about the really sad quests that were in the last episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Ray because they involved mind control. Ray didn't find them sad, but everybody else on the internet did. And Ray has a point. Mind control is lazy.
See the sadness, but mind control really detracted.
The writing. The thing is the writing on it was so fucking good.
Like again, we talked about it last episode. I'll just touch on it briefly here. The quest they're talking about is the one we sit by the dwarf, and you hear his sad story about where his friend, who happened to be a black dragon, like went crazy with the corruption, and then he had to fight and put her down. I get why that's sad. I understand it. I just feel like it loses some of its impact because she didn't have a choice in the matter, because she was literally basically mind controlled into becoming evil because of the corruption that spread to her through Deathwing and all that. And so like that, it would have been better if she decided, no, Deathwing is right, we need to do this because of reasons or whatever. So because of that, I was more impacted by the Drakthir storyline when you got that little cutscene flashback of Neltharion locking them away and putting them to sleep because of the hints of like betrayal there, because nobody was mind controlled there. That was Neltharion making a choice and the Drakthir responding to it. Like nobody was forced into doing anything there. The same reason like How to Train Your Dragon 2, Toothless kills Hiccup's dad. Sad, I get that. I fucking hate it because Toothless was mind controlled. It doesn't count. It loses all emotional impact.
Alex Straza comes to mind.
In what way?
When she was corrupted and mind controlled?
I have no knowledge of this.
Not Alex Straza, sorry.
Ysera.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, again, I understand that. It sucks. I liked Ysera, so it was sad to see her go. I didn't play during that time, but I've seen the cutscene, and I know the questline. I know how it happens.
Pretty sure she's coming back in 10.5.
Possibly. But the point is, like, I get why that's sad, and it really sucked because it was such a bullshit way to rob us of a main character.
Yep.
Because it was a mind control thing. It's like, this is completely out of character for her. She would never do this, and now you're killing her off because of it?
Yep.
It's like, yeah, sorry. That's my rant on mind control for the day.
So as the last thing of the story, literally just clicking around in Wowpedia and all that other stuff, I see why people are going apeshit and why the N'Zoth conspiracies and Tinfoil Hat is coming. Because at least on the status of N'Zoth, the rest of the old gods have status deceased, and N'Zoth's status is unknown. So it's like,
is Wowpedia maintained by Blizzard or by fans?
Fans.
Okay.
So it's like, I'm pretty sure that's what the whole...
There's no real weight to it, but
I mean, it was told to us that N'Zoth died before the events of World of Warcraft began. And it's in Battle for Azeroth, we basically see that N'Zoth died. But there is no raid where you kill him, and there's no like area where you kill him or anything like that. It's just, he's dead. Trust us.
Wink.
But I mean, it's the same thing with what's it called, Yasharj. It's like you don't go after him, you don't kill him or anything, but it's once again dead. So it's like, I have a feeling that's why people are like, oh my god, N'Zoth is coming back. We'll see.
I have a question real fast because there's a puzzle piece in my brain missing.
Go for it.
Did the Titans make Azeroth, or did they find it?
Apparently they found it.
Okay, alright. Cool. Thank you. That's just whatever. I just needed to know.
It's just that Azeroth was kind of the level of perfection that they were looking for. But
yep.
But they were not the only ones, as the old gods found it as well.
Yeah, and so did the Naru, and so did everybody else. Like, who the fuck made Azeroth? Why did they just make this planet and then leave it behind?
Yep.
Alright, anyway, so we're done talking about story tidbits, unless we tangent back around at some point.
And now we take a harsh corner towards rant-o'clock.
No, we're going into mechanics, and it's going to be kind of rant-o'clock. Nomad can try his best to defend these mechanics, but I feel like a lot of them are antiquated or just bad design choices in general.
Keep in mind, Ray doesn't like games.
No. A couple of his points, very, very valid. I already know. Let's start with this one because I know this one's going to come up. Locking recipes behind raids.
So that's the dumbest thing ever, because I want to be an Omnicrafter. I am an Omnicrafter in Final Fantasy, and so I'm trying to level up all my crafters to do things, and I'll get into the freaking leveling system and the, not command board, the order board, whatever you call it. Yeah, we'll get into that later. But the fact that, like, I want to be an Omnicrafter mostly so that I can just be self-sufficient and make my own stuff. I would like to make stuff for other people, but the problem is that there's so many other people doing that I can't really get into that market with the free time I have available. So whatever, I'm fine just being self-sufficient and then making stuff for Bantam or some of my other friends if we end up needing something. Like, it turns out, I got 380 in all my slots except for whatever reason I haven't gotten a lucky drop and my gloves are still 340. Whatever, I'll make gloves for you.
Okay.
Cool. Like, that's what I want to do. The fact that a lot of these recipes are locked behind PvP, raids, or random RNG chance in the overworld is stupid as shit. Now, the PvP I can forgive a little bit because the PvP recipes are PvP gear.
I was gonna say, so they are their own entity for that reason.
But even then, it means that to get a recipe, I have to do endgame content that, like if the recipe is for like a 380 piece, I'm doing content that I would arguably be getting like 380, 390, 400 gear from in order to maybe get... So like at that point,
here's the thing, Nomad, and I know that when I say this, I'm on Ray's side on this, and just, in Final Fantasy 14, you obviously can have all crafting and all gathering on one character.
That's a discussion about alts versus single character, but whatever.
Point being is that when a new expansion comes out and they add 10 more levels, if you follow the main story and do all the easy content, you can hit max level cap immediately and then go off gathering and crafting, and you never have to touch a raid, you never have to touch savage content, you never have to do anything after that. You are able to craft anything you want. And
tell me why that's good.
Pretend I wanted to craft and not do raids. Like, let's say I'm not a raider. I don't like doing mythic dungeons. I don't like doing raids. I don't like doing any of that. Let's just pretend. And I just want to go into this game to craft. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to go into the game and I just want to craft. I want to make stuff for my friends. I want to make stuff for other people. To me, the game is a business simulator, and I just want to craft stuff and make money. And that's my game. I can't because all the recipes are locked behind content that I don't want to do.
Man, that sounds like a you problem.
It does sound like a me problem, but I mean,
Ray and
let's think about this. Let's think about this just logically. Why would the blacksmiths that are just in a random ass town have every single craftable item in the entire game?
No,
it is definitely a lore / story. Not story, but like what feels logical for the world versus what is fun for the player. I understand the seesaw there, but personally, as I do raids, I do mythics, so I do that stuff. So this is not something that I have to deal with personally. But the drop rate is still insanely low. That's like the chance of me getting the elemental lariat to drop from the Vault of the Incarnate. It's like, dear God.
It will always be low.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's stupid. It's stupid.
It's the same thing with most like weapons and trinkets and rings and stuff like that.
I think
it's just
I like the
low.
Which I think is stupid. You're locking me out of content based on stupid RNG that I have no control over. The thing that Final Fantasy does that I really like is the crafters. They don't get to craft the elemental layer right out the gate because that wouldn't be fair, because that would completely negate a whole lot of previous crafts or previous dungeon drops. So in order for in Final Fantasy, I'm going to use Warcraft terms, to get the elemental lariat, I have to max out my crafter, I have to get myself my best and start crafting gear, and then I have to grind these random crafts that I can't sell or buy because there's soulbound, but I craft them as a currency, and they're like weekly gated or something because there's some component, I can't remember exactly. But then I turn in 40 of these, and I get a recipe book that now has the elemental lariat and other recipes in it. That's how I, as a crafter, would unlock crafts, and that makes more sense than having to go into a raid, a mythic, a random fishing bottle.
Yeah, Ray and I spent like 6 hours cumulative fishing to get a goddamn recipe, and we still didn't get it, and he ended up just buying it on the auction house for an exorbitant amount of money. And it's like
that wasn't actually that bad. Like the lariat, if it ever sells, I've seen it for 1.2 million once.
Yep.
But like that shield was only like, I think like 20.
Here's the problem. Here's another problem with the lariat, and this is exclusive to the lariat. I check the WoW subreddit like every day. And
you poor thing.
Yeah, and I have seen some pretty fucked up stories about the lariat, about people who finally got the recipe, learned it, and started crafting the lariat for their friends. And you know what happens to them? They get fucking banned. They get banned from trade chat. They get banned from fucking speaking in towns because other crafters who are angry that they're undercutting them mass report them. And because Blizzard is a small indie dev, be gentle, they have this AI system where if enough people report you in a short enough time, then clearly you've done something wrong and you're banned. And
it's YouTube.
It's what?
It's YouTube.
I don't get.
People on YouTube will make videos like, "Ha, I got this guy banned."
And they'll DMCA, and DMCAing is all about an automated program and everything. Yeah, it's people are gaining the system, and that is fucked up in itself.
It's not the crafting system's fault. It's Blizzard itself. But the fact that like there was,
you have to put it on players as well.
Yeah, and players. There was one story I read where someone finally got the lariat recipe, and he. It was from the perspective of a buyer. He said that he shouted in town that he was looking to buy a lariat, and
everyone's like 20K, 30K.
And then someone's like, I'll do it for 500 gold. And when the previous people who were, saying 20, 30, 50K were like, so you going to buy it? And he goes, no, I found someone who was going to do it for 500. And they're like, what's his name? Tell me his name. What's his name? I need to know. What's his name? And he said that he refused to tell them, and he got scared. And he said then a couple of the people that were charging like 50K found him in the game and started following him around trying to inspect his gear. like they wanted this crafter who charged 500 gold. They wanted his head on a fucking stick. Yep. Because he undercut them. Because everybody who gets the lariat, there's one of two attitudes with the lariat. Either I'm gonna fucking rape this game for as much gold as I can, or players for as much gold as I can, or I'm gonna be really nice and I'm gonna help out my friends. And the ones who help
because nobody's special slot should be locked behind exorbitant prices
and
that.
It's like, dude, I only have like at the most I think I had 220,000 gold. And it's like just buying the rest. I've read stories where people are like, you know what? I crafted a lariat for free for like a month. And he goes, and just in tips, I basically said that people could just pay me in tips. Like if you can afford it, if you can't, don't give me any money. If you provide the materials, I'll just fucking craft it. I don't give a fuck. And those people have made millions. And it's like, I don't have the ability to make millions. And the thing is Warcraft, apparently their reasoning behind this system was they wanted crafting to be a more community-centered thing. But unfortunately, community is full of fucking assholes. And they're going to go off and they're going to witch hunt anybody who is trying to undercut them because they want to get as much money as possible.
Yep.
So another complaint about crafting in general, and this is a problem with all games. It's even a problem with Final Fantasy. So this isn't unique to Warcraft. But I'm just expressing my displeasure. I like crafting. It's fun, okay? I have a game on my Game Boy that I dug up out of my 10-year-old game box, and I've been playing that again because it's a crafting game, and it's a lot of fun. And I'll get into that game later if we care. But the problem with crafting is it's PvP. Crafting is PvP, and I fucking hate PvP.
Then don't PvP.
I don't like PvP because I'm bad at it. Yes, then you're just mad because bad.
Okay, whatever. No. Hold on. Then why are you even getting into this?
Well, okay, so I don't literally play PvP.
He's making a metaphor for that you're not just crafting. You're crafting against other crafters.
Yeah, because I'm fighting people for the recipes, like going back to the recipe dropping in Vault of the Incarnates. Let's say I do Vault of the Incarnates, and oh my god, there it is. The elemental layer has dropped. I have to roll against 24 other people for it now.
Maybe.
Well, no, the elemental layer only drops from world bosses during elemental storms.
No, well, whatever.
But I understand your point.
I thought it was Vault of the Incarnates drops the allied gear, so I messed up my sources. But the point is, I'm rolling against a whole bunch of other people for this stuff. So there's my first layer of PvP. Okay. Now my second layer of PvP is the fact that the nodes will disappear after people mine or gather them. Now there is a delay. They stay for like about a minute or so. It's not as bad as it used to be back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
But still, it was way. I played back then.
Oh, it was awful.
It was way worse. But the point is, that's still a level of PvP there. And even trying to just buy some of this like awakened order on the market board so I can make stuff that I need is exorbitantly expensive. So like that's another layer of PvP. Is I'm fighting people for my supplies, and then trying if I wanted to actually make money and sell stuff on either the market board or I wanted to try to nab a custom order that was on the public board or whatever. There's the third layer of PvP. I'm fighting the other crafters for the right to craft. It's like the problem with crafting, and again, this is in all MMOs, is that because there's so many other people in the pool that want to do it, it is so hard to actually craft in a meaningful way. I either can't get the recipes, can't get the materials, or have no point for crafting.
So there is, out of all those points that you just listed, there is one that I will defend World of Warcraft on. You're talking about Awakened Order and materials. I mean no offense when I say this, but it's just that you don't want to grind for it. Soren has stated, Soren showed us a screenshot of his inventory. He's got like 50 Awakened of all the types. And
Same.
The way he got them was literally just grinding for them. Like going to Primalist Storms and just fucking murdering everything he sees for hours.
Yeah, I understand that. And this is another reason why I wanted to use the PvP metaphor and why I started saying, like, I don't like PvP because I'm bad at PvP. I can't get good, right? People who play, like, actual PvP modes, PvP games, people who do Overwatch or who do Battlegrounds in Warcraft or who do League of Legends or whatever, when they get good, it's because they can sink so much time into the game to practice and to get good. I can't do that. I don't have the time for that. And so, to go back to the crafting, I don't have time to grind this stuff out.
Then don't.
I'm a dirty, filthy casual who isn't allowed to partake in this aspect of the game.
You are.
Because, yeah, They would see Nomad's one of the bad guys here, and,
No,
and that's
because
why.
here's the reason. Okay, I'm gonna stop you here because I need to go back in time to defend a lot of these points.
Okay.
One, you want subsidized crafting. You don't want to ever have to compete against anyone else in the entire server when it comes to crafting. I'm sorry, that's not how sales work. There will always be competition. There will always be people that are better than you. There will always be people that are worse than you. It doesn't matter where you put your foothold in the crafting world. You will have a buying market. Now, it's just because you don't have all of the buying market doesn't mean that you have zero buying market. This is
like I'm going to horrify you with this next little bit, because I've told Bantam this before. It's like, if I had my one wish for Warcraft or whatever, or like I had a disgusting amount of money, like Bezos level of money, and I could bribe Blizzard, okay, I would love to be like, hey Blizzard, here's $10 billion, okay? I want you to, like, let's pretend, I don't know numbers, let's pretend the current highest level crafting gear, like, you can make and sell to people, is 415. It requires a whole bunch of plugins, but let's pretend it's 415, okay? Blizzard, here's $10 billion. I want you to add a whole bunch of recipes for every crafter class that allows me to make 430 gear, but only I get to have it for 6 months. That would be my ideal game, because then I get to be the guy who gets to craft everything. And I wouldn't be an asshole. I wouldn't charge. Again, work for tips. I don't care. I just want to, and this is this is a look into my soul that's going to make me feel very sad and make people poke fun at me. But it is how I would feel useful and needed, and like I actually matter to the game.
Do you realize that if you took yourself and cloned yourself and then did exactly what you just said?
Oh, I would hate myself. I get that.
You would despise you. So
I understand
this doesn't work as an argument towards anything other than you're a selfish little prick.
A little bit. That's why I play single player games, because I'm allowed to be selfish in single player games.
You do have one advantage over a majority of the other players, though, Ray. And that's the fact that I fucking hate crafting and I don't want to do it. So everything and you know me, I'm obsessively clearing the map. Every time I see a world boss, I fucking go for it. You have someone who is essentially just mining and gathering everything you could possibly need and dumping it into a guild box for you.
Welcome to, like I said, you will always have a buyer's market. Bantam is an average player. It takes specific people to actually...
I have Nelthorex, you motherfucker.
Tell me when you get to a heroic raid. Anywho, he is an average player, and the fact that that's an average player and they don't really want to craft. A lot of people look at the blacksmithing and the other levels of crafting and go, wow, this is going to be really expensive, annoying, and long. Fuck this, I'm not even going to try. But I have 50,000 ore in my inventory. I wonder if I can place an order to get this weapon I really want. Oh, look at that, I can.
Yeah, I feel like I accidentally fucked over Ray. Because I insisted on an Etheron, and crafting orders, public crafting orders, are server-based. And so there's never any crafting orders.
So here's the thing, I don't know if a more populated server... How populated is your server, Nomad?
Pretty populated. It's not super duper.
Is it when you log in, is it full, high, medium? What is it?
I would assume it's high.
You haven't really checked, though?
Server population...
You never have to change server, so you never have to look at it.
How much is a server transfer?
It's like $30, I think. I bought a 3-pack for $45. Yeah. I'm not looking to transfer servers. That's not the point. The point is, I don't know if a more populated server would have more public orders, so I now get to choose. I want to craft this for this person, hooray! Or if it would have less because there's more crafters nabbing them up because they're sitting there every day, refresh, trying to get them themselves.
So, according to pure population-wise, Wormrest Accord is the 19th most populated server. So I would definitey put that up there as we are pretty populated.
That's also where a majority of Kalina and Soda Cat's characters are.
Yeah. How often do you do crafting orders ever? Have you ever looked at the board? How often is there an order for you to grab on the board?
Pretty often.
So more populated server would actually net more public orders, not more crafters snapping them all up.
Worst case scenario, though, Ray, you can just have me place orders for shit I don't care about.
I mean, I do that between my
I was
alts.
gonna say, yeah, you can
I'm
do it
getting my
yourself.
weekly quest. Yeah, I'm getting between my weekly quests done because I can be like, hey, make me garbage braces, just 3 of them. I don't fucking care. That's not the problem. The problem isn't I can't do the quest. The problem is whatever. One of my ideal games.
Next one, go.
I'll let you finish attacking my points before I continue on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that like it's there has to always be a level of randomness in things. It can't just be all through one source and one means. Now there are recipes that are gated behind rep, and some people hate that on its own.
God, that's annoying.
It is.
It's not that big a deal because it's just a time sink, but it's still annoying.
It's just it's like, man, how do I get the recipe? Oh, I know, play the fucking game.
Well, the way Final Fantasy does it is as you craft things, you do craft it. You essentially do crafting orders for NPCs. You craft collectibles, and when you craft them, they are tagged as collectibles, which means that they are not wearable by players. They are reclassified as an item, and then you turn them in for scripts. And the scripts are a form of currency, and then you use those scripts to buy recipe books for higher level recipes.
Right. The point is, at its essence, that's a time sink, just like the rep grind is a time sink. They're both time sinks. They're different flavors of time sinks, but that's why the rep grind isn't that big a deal, because it's still the time sink.
But it's a time sink crafting, not a time sink gearing up for a raid.
Most of the rep grinding you do doing the world quest, so you don't really need to gear up for that.
No, I'm talking about like recipes locked behind raids. It's like Final Fantasy never does that.
Oh, we're past that. We're talking about recipes locked behind reputation now.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, so that's not a big deal. It's annoying because if I run out of world quests, I can't really grind it out any faster if I wanted to. I've never run out of world quests because between 4 characters, But whatever. It's there.
I just say it's like you're making a bigger deal of what it is than it actually is.
The rep grind?
I mean, just crafting in general and its downfalls.
Yeah, probably. I'm pretty sure a lot of these complaints are unique to me specifically.
Yeah.
Which is why I was going to get into, like, this would be my perfect game. But, like, I'm letting you finish your stuff first.
I mean, I'm waiting for your next hatred.
Ray will... like, Ray will never... Ray will never understand that he is useful to me and that the stuff that he does, like...
I'm useful to you as a body. Like, hey, come do this 10-year-old raid with me so that I can get these glamours.
Yeah,
cool. I'm here as a person.
To everyone as a body.
But here's the thing, Ray. I can't do them by myself, and you helping me means you are useful, and I appreciate you for it. But that doesn't count to you. It's like you need to be useful to complete strangers who don't give a shit about you.
No. It doesn't count to me because that level of usefulness can be filled by literally any other person. You could find some random dude on the street and they but
then they're gonna take the gear I want.
He hasn't asked me to do any of this.
I have. I asked you to do N'Zoth with me.
But then we found out that it's like I couldn't even get to the fucking island.
Yeah, so Kalina and I went in and we couldn't get past the final. Like we wiped like 30 times on one boss because the mechanic was nearly impossible without 2 tanks. Because the mechanic is that it was 2 bug bosses and each one of them were fighting for control over a swarm of drones. And when one of them was in control, they had to be close to the other one. And when the other one was in control, they had to be far away from the other one. So you had to keep ping-ponging the 2 bosses off each other. And the thing was, as a hunter and a warlock, it was really hard to manipulate threat enough to do it. And we had to look up guides for a lot of them. There was one boss where we never figured out what the mechanic was. We just beat on it for like, I think it was 45 fucking minutes because it had a 99% damage reduction. But it wasn't hurting us. So we were like, fuck this. We just sat there and talked while we just auto-attacked.
I'm going to win via attrition.
Yeah. And then when we got to the final, boss and we had spent so long attritioning our way through this fucking raid that we were like, all right, we're done. Let's get out of here. Because she didn't have the cape, and you need the cape to do the final boss. But the thing is the raid doesn't tell you need the cape to do the final boss. Because if you go into the final boss without the cape, you immediately become mind controlled and die. And
Yep.
it's like, so then she would have to go do the Cape quest, and the thing is I really wanted Ray's or your help, but it's like I also don't want to require all that fucking time wasting. And it's like, I did it specifically so that I could fucking unlock these goddamn dragons. And then I was like, well, I unlocked this raid, I might as well go in here and see what kind of glamours I can get.
Glamours.
That's all I care about. And now that they've unlocked white and grays, it's like,
It's called transmog. Know your game.
Hey, when people shorten it, like in World of Warcraft, it's mogs, and in Final Fantasy it's glams, or Xmog, and in Final Fantasy it's glams. And I just think glam sounds nicer than Xmog, so I just
it's like if you're playing Magic the Gathering and saying, I'm going to play this fire energy. I mean mountain.
Yeah. Pokemon.
But it's that's what you're doing basically.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh no, you knocked out my creature. I mean, killed him.
Pokemon Nuzlocke.
I'm going to digivolve your a Johnny Whitemane. Or
yep, there you go.
Goldmane, whatever.
So what's your?
He is now completed.
So Ray, what's your next problem with the game?
My next problem, I'm not going to go into what my perfect crafting game would be because that's not important. But my next problem with the game is alts. Okay.
Holy fuck! I want to play another character. The downfall of society.
I understand. So I understand the point of alts, and I kind of like it because a lot of things I do in other RPGs is I'll be like, hey, this was a fun playthrough as a mage. I'm going to make a new character and be a warrior this time. Like, I get it, okay?
Yep.
I'm a little spoiled by Final Fantasy in the sense that one character can play all jobs.
Yeah.
Which I think is honestly might be a little bit too low of a barrier to entry. The fact that everybody can do everything, I get that.
Yep.
My problem with alts specifically isn't that they're alts. Like, I don't mind logging out of Rokin, my paladin, and logging into Durangan, my druid. I don't mind that. The problem is when I want to change from the paladin tank to the druid tank, because let's just say this week's affix is Sanguine, which means the paladins can have a really rough time because I can't stand in my pool if I have to keep dodging their pools.
Yep.
So I'm going to go do the druid tank instead, right? A tank for the job. This tank is better at this week. That makes sense. Having access to 3 different tanks or 3 different healers or 3 different whatever, so that you can tailor for each situation. That's great. You know, turns out warlocks are crap at this rate, so I'm going to go as my hunter or vice versa or whatever. The problem I have with Warcraft is trying to gear up every single alt. It's such a fucking chore.
Then don't.
But you have to if you want to be able to flip-flop which class you're going to use on the fly because this week's affix is Sanguine, or this raid is really unfriendly to casters, or whatever. So the thing that Final Fantasy does, that Bantam's trying to interrupt me to say himself, is the fact that everything is on one character means if I'm playing my paladin and I get my best in slot chess piece or whatever, then when I switch to warrior, I still have the chess piece.
Yeah, because Final Fantasy doesn't use primary stats like the monk's primary stat is agility, whereas a paladin's primary stat might be strength.
Oh no, it does. It's just every single tank uses strength.
I'm talking Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy.
Right. Every single tank uses strength. They still have strength, mind.
Yeah, your best in slot chess piece is going to be best in slot for every tank, whereas it's not.
The thing is, it's less of a stat problem, more of a I have it. I can't give my chess piece from my paladin to my druid. I can be like, hey, you wear this now because you got to go do this dungeon for me. No, if I need the same chess piece, and I understand they don't need the same chess piece because of set bonuses, but if they needed the same chess piece, I'd have to get it 3 times.
The issue, Nomad, is that he's now pigeonholed into being the tank at all times. Minotaur is so far behind. I haven't gotten any set pieces, even with the catalyst. I haven't gotten any great weapons. I still have gear that's like 340. And on top of that, I feel like I just don't know how to play fucking Fury Warrior or Protection Warrior because I'm always consistently worse. I did a raid as Minotaur, and first of all, being a melee in raid, hate it. every little
That's all I ever do.
Every little micro adjustment of a boss, and I have to fucking walk forward and attack them. It's like I get it.
WASD, WASD, WASD.
Yeah. No, I do that, but it's like, oh my god, I liked being a ranged character standing on the other side of the arena, and no matter where the boss moved, I never had to stop.
Anyway, Bantam, my problem isn't I'm forced to be a tank. That's a different issue with our play group, not with the game, right? The problem is my paladin is geared to do plus 9s. He could probably go higher, but we've done plus 9s on him. If I decide either A, because I'm bored of paladin and want to try druid or warrior, or B, I just don't want to deal with sanguine on my paladin, so I want to do something else, my druid is only geared for plus 4s. He couldn't jump into the plus 9 because I can't share gear between them.
Because you don't have the time to grind up multiple alts.
So then my counterpoint is, what's wrong with playing one character?
Well, I get. He just said because if
it's an option that I don't have available. You
are not forced or pigeonholed to do anything. It is your choice. If you think that doing it is easier, then you have to be more skilled to do the thing that you were already going to do.
It's time gating more of the game.
But it's
in
not.
This case, the ability to play a different tank in plus 9s. It's time gating it to me specifically because of my schedule, because I can't keep every single tank I have geared up. And you can defend that all you want. I'm just saying that I got spoiled by Final Fantasy in the sense that if I play the Paladin and I get this eye level 318 chest piece, and then I switch to Gunbreaker, I still have the chest piece. I don't need unique gear for every single tank.
Currently in the game, a Brewmaster is the worst tank in the game for varying amounts of reasons.
Yeah.
And it's by a few enough percent. It doesn't really matter at the level we play at, but it's like if you want to push content, then it matters. But
it's not even.
Yes, I understand. Brewmaster is worse.
It's the thing is, you are not going to see the differences until you're pushing 20s.
Mm-hmm.
If you intend to push 20s, then you should be aware of what tank is the tank that you should be investing in. If you don't give a flying fuck about meta and you just love playing a monk, you can still do 20s.
Yeah,
it's going to be harder.
Yeah. I'm playing a Brewmaster tank on a little Volpera squad, and get
ready for pain.
It's got no AoE threat generation. It's got no range threat generation.
Crane kick.
Well,
it doesn't at our level. He's not aware of what he has.
I watched a video, and once you hit around level 40, spinning crane kick doesn't do shit.
It's enough.
It's from what I read from a couple of videos on how to play Brewmaster tank, it's not enough.
Compared to a paladin, it sucks balls.
Oh, I guess, but it has no the warrior can throw axes which split and hit every enemy in a group. The paladin has the bouncing shield. Monk has the barrel throw, but the barrel throw has like a 20-foot range and only hits one target.
Your spit of flame is AoE and range.
Yeah, I don't have that yet.
It's not as far, but okay.
But yeah, Nomad, I feel like you're missing the point of my argument.
But I'm not though. It's you're saying that why is the game forcing me to play ults? I'm saying at no point in time is the game forcing you to play ults.
No, I'm not. I never said it's forcing me to. This is a problem that's not unique to me. I'm sure that people like me. You have no problem whatsoever being a paladin 100% of the time.
Yes.
If you could only play one character, you'd be fine being a paladin. Bantam would be completely fine being a hunter. Person X would be, I'm fine with my mage. This is why people have mains. This is my main. This is all I play. This is all I care about.
Yep.
That is probably, I think that's the average person. I am a unique individual. Maybe there's like 20% people that are like me, whatever, where I can't have only one character. And that is a me problem. I get that. Let me finish. I can't sit there and play Paladin all day, every day, because I will get bored of that. It's the same reason why, in a much broader aspect, Bantam is drowning in Warcraft and touches no other game. I will get sick of Warcraft, have to put it down, I'll play another game for an hour or two, then I'll play a third game, then I'll play a fourth game, and then I'll be fine. I can go back to Warcraft now. I need variance, so I would lose my mind if I could only play Paladin and nothing else, which is why every now and then I feel like playing a Druid. I feel like playing a Warrior. I haven't leveled my Death Knight yet, but maybe one day I'll feel like playing him. And I don't have the time to keep them all geared up, so I can't juggle them at the level of the Paladin who happens to be the best geared is able to do. So this isn't the game forcing me to play Paladin. This is me being like, well, if I want to do something else for the sake of being different for a while, I have to now go down 6 levels, which kind of sucks and feels bad, considering I have limited time.
So the problem with World of Warcraft is that you have a problem.
The problem with World of Warcraft is that it requires so much grind for every little thing that it wants to be the only game that you ever play.
Here's one change that I think that Blizzard could make that would probably fix a lot of race problems. And it's a very small change. Instead of soul binding everything you pick up, account bind it. If I pick up...
They've been doing that with more things, but when it comes to gear drops, it sounds absolutely ludicrous that I can roll in with my paladin and then get a 2-handed weapon and literally play fucking hot potato with it with the rest of the characters in my alts.
No.
It sounds ludicrous because Warcraft went the alt style. Final Fantasy went the jobstone style, so it makes sense that I can use the same gear. I'm just changing the stone I'm holding.
I'm saying that when I do the assault on Dragonbane Keep and I get my box, whatever, and then you know how everybody flies over to beat the living shit out of the fucking guy out there, right? Yeah. Every time I kill him, I get a dragon slaying spear. It's a bound on pickup. If I don't equip that weapon, it should be account bound, and then when I equip it, it becomes soul bound. Point is that the amount of times I've gotten really cool gear that I'll never be able to use because I didn't get it on the right character, but I've never equipped it, I should be able to give it to another character who can equip it. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It should not be auctionable. It should not be tradable to anyone but your own characters. But if I picked up, I picked up a necklace called Amnesia from. We ended up doing. We ended up doing a little bonus quest I've never seen before, down in Azure Span, where Ray said that if you blow this horn, it summons a Tuskar raiding party, and you have to escort them through the area. And we did that, and then it ends with you killing a rock proto-dragon. When I killed it, I got a necklace called Amnesia. It was $379 and had some really decent stats, but not better than what I had. And I was like, these stats would have been perfect for so-and-so. But it's soul-bound, and it's bound on pickup. If it was account-bound, and then I traded it to that character and then equip it, now it's soul-bound.
Yeah, Bantam, I see your point, but that is a Band-Aid on a severed limb. That would give you low to mid-tier gear, sure. Like some world quests give you 380 gear for whatever. But a lot of the good gear comes from the vault or from the raids or the mythic dungeons, which if you allowed it to be transferred between your alts like that, it would be such a nightmare for people who want to roll for it. Like you go into the raid and you're playing a tank, but a healer headpiece drops. You want that for your other characters. Now you got to roll against everybody else who wants it on all their alts too. It's a problem with raid gear in Final Fantasy, which is why you want to go in to get this transmog, but everybody wants it for either a transmog, an alt character, or to just vendor it for guild credits or whatever the fuck it's called. Granted, you can roll need because you happen to be the class it's for, but the point is it's still such a nightmare for rolling that doesn't fix everything if I can just account bound my gear. What would be the best fix, and I understand this does not make sense for Warcraft, but what would make the most sense would be already, thank God, my Retribution chest piece transforms into my Protection chest piece when I switch specs.
Yeah.
Like the set bonus actually changes. If it didn't, I couldn't imagine the nightmare of fucking gearing up a paladin to be all 3 things.
It's what it actually used to be.
Oh, it's fucking disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
What could happen is this tier chest piece that's the set of the light or whatever the fucking paladin set piece is called.
Yeah.
It behaves like an heirloom. And so when I log into my Druid, I have the heirloom chest piece set bonus for the Druid, and I can just manifest it. I now have my set chest piece for the Druid. Even though Paladin is plate and Druid is leather, the fact that I got the best in slot for my Paladin means all my other tanks are now best in slot too.
You know how boring that would be?
It's boring for someone like you who no-lifes the game all the time, but for someone like me who has very limited playtime, I now have more options available to me.
Man, assuming I have no life, how lovely.
No life is just a verb I use for people who play the game and are able to keep up with this grind when I can't.
I play just as I play slightly more than Ray, and he calls me a no lifer because
anyone who plays more than me
because
is a
I
no
play
lifer.
because like Ray will never understand that I'm the type of gamer that will drown in a game. When Cyberpunk 2077 came out, I didn't play anything else for like 3 straight months.
Okay. Do me a favor for both of you. Can you load up WoW right now? Without making everything else explode on your computer?
It might make Audacity explode because Warcraft seems to be very intensive on launching. There are times where I click launch and it doesn't get through 5 minutes.
He wants to know what the playtime is.
Bingo.
I actually posted a screenshot in...
I would actually be willing to think right now that Bantam's playtime is the most between the 3 of us.
I mean, my playtime is going to be artificially inflated because this is an account that I've had for 15 years that I played on and off. Usually I would log in.
It'll show you the playtime at this level. And that's...
Oh, so how long I've been level 70?
And yeah.
Okay, that helps.
Because otherwise, I will win that just out of... Yeah. So, on this character, it says total time played, 46 days, 7 hours, 55 minutes, 58 seconds. But at this level... In fact, it even says what class. That's actually kind of hilarious. That was something new they added.
I really have to log that in for that. I can't go to like a website.
No. It's...
I'm going to log in with my paladin since he's, quote, my main, because he's the best geared. He's the one who can do the +9s with my group or whatever. Even though I like my Drakthir better, I got forced out of the healing roll. Again, not a game problem. That's a group problem. All right, what's the typing command I have to do?
/played.
At this level,
2 days, 3 hours, 52 minutes.
Excellent.
14 days, 1 hour, 12 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
You ready for mine?
What?
4 days, 4 hours, 44 minutes, 27 seconds.
You still double me.
I'm not exactly double.
No lifer.
now, if we want the no lifer,
all right, I'm gonna log out before
fucking Bantam, man.
I know, 14 days.
Well, I'm fucking proud of you.
The thing is that I've Dragonflight specifically. Now, keep in mind when I first started playing this game, I was going through the entire Shadowlands campaign, and I started with Shadowlands because Dragonflight wasn't out yet. And I actually kind of got into it. And the thing is that I understand that from a lot of people's perspective, Shadowlands was the worst. But it's like, I didn't mind it. Ardenweald was my flavor of awesome.
Same.
I loved Ardenweald. Yeah. And, I love Wamsamdi. And I loved the aesthetic of Zandalar, which I know is BFA, but like when I first started playing, I had to go through BFA.
Man, I really don't like this.
I love Wamsamdi. Oh my god.
So I don't like him completely from a furry perspective. Out of all the lore, he's the only non-animal. What the fuck?
He's a troll.
I know. It's so stupid that he's the most popular when he's the only non-animal lore.
So here's the thing: is that he is the Loa of death, and so he is from the trolls, by the trolls, for the trolls. Whereas the rest of the Loa are animals because they are aspects of things.
I still like Gonk.
Gonk,
yeah. Gonk is best boy.
Yeah.
So basically my complaints for Warcraft so far have amounted to I can't be special little snowflake, only crafter in the world, and poor little baby me with limited playtime can't play every single class that he wants to.
Man, this is still not sounding like anything wrong with WoW.
It depends on your definition of wrong. It's wrong for me, but I'm sure other people love it for these reasons.
For an objective view of what the problem is and what the solution is, all of it is on you. The only thing that I would even suggest that is possible is kind of what Bantam said earlier, or it would be making certain things bind on account rather than just bind on pickup.
What if tier set pieces were just all heirlooms?
I mean, the heirloom thing is kind of silly because then, like I said, it's like then equipping your because there was a point in time. Well, even there is a point in time. My roommate has a alt of every single class and an alt of every single spec of class.
Yeah, I've seen screenshots of that, and it's disgusting.
Kalina and Sodacat also have, I swear to God, they have every race class combo scattered across every fucking server.
Yeah. So this is me guessing. This is me pulling numbers out of my ass. This is, okay. I'm going to guess and just assume or whatever that to create an alt of every single class, not even about spec, because very few specs, maybe some of the drastic different ones, like how Druid needs intelligence and agility for different specs, but to create a character of every single class geared up to competent or high levels, maybe not best in slot, but like can at least do like mythic plus 12s or whatever, right? Would be like, let's say 100 hours. I'm pulling that number out of my ass. Let's say 100 hours, okay? To do something comparable in Final Fantasy, because of the way the job stones and the gear works in that, it would take maybe 20 hours. It's such a fraction of the time to have everything geared up, because it's the difference between multiple characters binding on equip needing unique gear and one character who just changes the hat he's wearing at the time. Like, I understand that's a game difference, but my problem comes down to I like games that are a bit nicer to people with limited playtime and still give me all the options.
Thing is
so you're not too far away for the time, but literally to go from, so I just looked on one of my other alts where basically I've gotten him to level 60 and that's it. He still needs to go 270, but his entire to get to 60 equates to somewhere around 36 hours. And it's like, that's not horrid in the grand scheme of things.
It is when you are compelled to not sink into one game though, which.
But that's when I give it as, it's like, well then don't.
The thing is that I more sympathize with you. Like you have better, but like it's unfortunately like my favorite MMO of all time, even more than World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy, was Earth Eternal. And reason why is because it was Babby's first fucking MMO. It was cute, adorable, easy as fuck, and did not have raids. It had dungeons, but it had old school EverQuest style dungeons where they weren't instanced. You could just walk in. And I loved that. And the thing is crafting, there was no such thing. There was no such thing as crafters. It was you find a recipe in the wild, and then you use the recipe as a ticket, go up to a blacksmith, give him the raw materials and the recipe as a ticket, and then hit craft, and bam, he gives it to you. Done. That was it. And they had silly ass world events. I remember back when the game had a peak of like 50 players. There was a world event where a giant turkey monster was attacking the main city, and you had to go out and you had to defeat it, and when you did, it would drop drumsticks. And the drumsticks were a event currency to buy turkey-themed armor and weapons. So, like, instead of a mace, I could have a drumstick, or instead of a helmet, I could have a turkey hat. And I loved the game, and I tried to get Ray into it, and he did not like the fact that every class could self-heal. In a sense, there was no healer class. There were healer classes that were slightly better at healing, but it wasn't really necessary. You could have an entire group of nothing but warriors, and they could kind of do dungeons. But the game, what ended up happening was the game collapsed in on itself because the guy who created it did not know who furries were, and all the races were furry, except for like 3. There was 26 races, and aside from robots, demons, and tree ants, all the rest were animals. And when furries flocked to the game, he was just like, okay. And his attitude toward the furries was, hey, friends that will love me and respect me as a game master or a developer. And so he started throwing private parties at his housing instance, because you have a housing instance. And he started giving away premium currency stuff, like bigger backpacks and cosmetics. And people realized that they could just be friends with the DM, or I say DM, the lead dev, and they could get anything they wanted for free. And then people stopped paying for the game, and then the game collapsed. He sold he sold the game to a Japanese publisher who then gutted the fucking game, reduced it down to 5 races, all of which were anime girls. And then the game bombed horribly there. And so they abandoned it, but they still own the rights to it. And so what happened was a bunch of dedicated fans convinced the guy who created the game to give them the source code. And they started running a fan server. And so around that time, I got Diletan to play with me. And so back to the original game, all the furry races were back, and him and I played for a really long time. But we were almost always consistently the only 2 people in the entire game. And it was fun. I love MMOs for one reason. I love perpetually online worlds where I log in and stuff has happened while I'm not there. I love that. I love the feeling that at any time I could come across another player. When you're playing a single player game, knowing that that's not a possibility. But to another degree, I used to play Watch Dogs, and getting invaded by another player was actually exciting. It wasn't annoying like it was in Dark Souls, because in Dark Souls, when a player invades you, they're twinked out to kill players. But in Watch Dogs, the entire goal of the invader was to hack you. And they were not allowed to hurt you. If they did, they immediately failed. So it was basically hide and seek, and you got to kill them. Like, that was exciting to me. I like being in a world where at any time you could see another player.
I like it.
But yeah, Earth Eternal collapsed. I think it's still running. It costs almost nothing to run because it's like a flashware game. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, sorry, Nomad, what were you saying before I had to run away?
That you're bad at games.
Kinda.
Ray,
it's everything wrong with World of Warcraft is on you.
I understand that I am asking the game to cater to me specifically,
Yep.
which isn't completely fair, but I think my opinion is still important to put out there on the internet, because maybe other people are in the same situation and now they're like, oh, maybe I won't play it because I don't have the time to do all this. And you know what? I saved you guys $60 and 20 hours before you realize this isn't for you.
That is also valid. Because, there are a lot of people. Diletan is the same way. Diletan is kind of a mix between Ray and I. Diletan, if he finds the right game, will drown in it. But for the most part...
He also game hops a lot.
He game hops. I cannot game hop at all. I actually start feeling stress and anxiety when I'm in the middle of playing a game that I've wanted to play and I'm asked to play something else. And I do it because it's just easier, but I don't like it. And
that's a really weird OCD you have there.
It's mostly
if you start something, you must finish it, or it's gonna die.
Mentally, it deteriorates.
It makes sense.
Like when Phantom Liberty comes out for Cyberpunk, I'm sorry, I'm gone for probably a week.
No. Me, I'll start a game, get halfway through, and be like, that was cool. Let's do something else now.
You should wait a week to make sure there's no bugs.
Well, so the funny thing about Cyberpunk is that the PC release didn't really have a lot of bugs. I had T-posing enemies.
Yeah, it did.
Well, I never really encountered any. I never had any quests break. I had maybe a couple crashes here and there, but when I would summon my car, it wouldn't spawn underneath another car and launch it into the air. The most hilarious bug that I had to deal with consistently on the PC version was I would summon my car, and then my car would drive past me and join the traffic AI and just fuck off into the sunset. And I'm like, the fuck? And I'm watching the little car icon with a little range thing underneath the arrow just getting further and further away. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'd have to resummon my car. And aside from T-posing enemies, I was able to beat the entire game without any major bugs or glitches. So for the most part, a lot of the severe problems were on consoles. But yeah, I replayed Cyberpunk a couple months ago, maybe like a year ago. But I wanted to get a perfect, clean, 100% run with every rare iconic weapon in the game. And so that when Phantom Liberty comes out, I'm ready to go. Which I am now ready to go.
Hell yeah. I'm still waiting until I get a better graphics card.
So you can get that so you can get that fucking ray tracing shit.
RTX.
Do you guys want to know what the perfect game for me would be? The perfect quote MMO. And MMO is in big, giant, fat quotes here.
Diablo.
No. It'd be small server size, or at least the server sharded into small group sizes, so that the instance of the world you're playing in is like only 12 people, right? There's 12 people. That's your entire world. This is like 2 healers, 2 tanks, 5 DPS, and like 2 crafters.
Diablo.
Right? So that when I'm the crafter, I get to be like one of the only people supplying stuff to the adventurers, right? Lets me feel special.
You and only
without
you.
Completely like... it lets the other people feel special too. Like the healer gets to be the only healer. But like as this group of 12 people interact with the world changes to reflect what they did. Like if the players decide we're going to go and do Razageth, then they kill Razageth and she's dead. She's dead. The people who killed her, she's dead. She doesn't come back. There's no weekly spawn on this. It's done.
So if you don't get your bow, then you're fucked.
I mean, it wouldn't be only from that. And in this universe, if that bow was that special, then a crafter would be able to like replicate it, like reverse engineer and then replicate it, or you can get it from more than one source, or whatever.
There would be,
but then like these people go and clear out Brackenhide Hollow. Brackenhide Hollow's gone. The gnolls are all gone. It's you can now start a quest line to make it less decayed, and maybe like a month from now, the gnolls come back to try to retake it.
He's mentioned before that it would be neat to have world quests or event quests where if you chose to ignore them, it could fuck up the world. Like, let's say, for example, the gnolls are about to attack Tuskar, and you, as your small server size, just go, let's see what happens, and you just don't do anything. The gnolls kill all the Tuskars and take over Iskar. And then, at that point, new quests spawn. And so it's like a branching story that you can choose based on action or inaction.
So that definitely sounds like something that would be closer to like GTA.
The problem is that they would never be able to account for all the choices you make.
Yeah.
Everything would have to be binary of either action or inaction and then go from there. But like I've had a similar idea a long time ago about my own version of GTA, where you can just kill a quest giver and then you have to like find out what the hell to do from there.
I mean, Divinity lets you kill the quest givers.
That video where the players were murdering animals and the developers were like, that was a quest giver.
And oops.
But yeah, that's why I prefer single player games. MMOs are fun for their own thing, but I prefer single player games because in those games my choices matter and I get to do what I want to do without making anybody else feel bad. When I played Skyrim, I played Blacksmith Simulator. I had a bunch of blacksmith mods and a bunch of mining mods, and I would go and make my own gear and then go to the market square and sell it and then go to buy food because I had a hunger mod installed too.
He had a mod where he could pop up a tent in the middle of fucking town and sell his wares. And it's like, part of me is like, oh, you poor child. And then the other part of me is like, hey, that actually sounds kind of neat.
Yeah. Also, like, the crafting game that I found for the Game Boy is called Fantasy Life. And I can play through the entire game as a crafter. Like, when I started my game, I'm like, I'm going to be a tailor so I can go and make clothing. Because, like, the objective of the game is to gather bliss, which means, like, you're just living your best life. So, heck, I'm a good tailor and I can open my own little boutique. And, no. There is a multiplayer function to it, but not the main game. I think you just have like a little multiplayer island you can go and like interact with people
There are
on.
a couple games that Ray and I have played together where it felt like it was really, really close to the perfect game for us. Stardew Valley is one of them. I hate farming. I find farming simulators boring as fuck. I don't care about planting crops and harvesting them and watering them. I think that's stupid. However, Stardew Valley also has a dungeon where you can go in there and fight shit. And I loved the dungeon. So, for the most part, it was me in the dungeon and Ray doing the farming shit. And then I'd bring him back my spoils and I'd help him water if he really needed it. But I hated the farming and I love doing the dungeon.
I really only grabbed you on harvest days. Like, we need to harvest the crops, and I need your help so that I can get to planting.
It's like all I can
can
picture is me stepping outside with my fucking battle axe, like, yeah, and you're like, no, it's harvest day. And I'm just like, oh, thunk.
I know Ray's perfect game.
Do you?
Yeah. It's called Cookie Clicker.
He loves clicking.
I love clickers. You don't even understand.
I played Clicker Heroes for like a month.
I played Clicker Hero 1 and 2. I have like a Wit Anubis one. I haven't done Cookie Clickers, that specific version. I've done like Venture Capitalist. I've done the Evolution one that was.
I played Clicker Heroes for a month straight, and it became an obsession. And so I finally started using Cheat Engine to hack the game to get higher and higher because I wanted to see at what point the game broke, and it never did. It started replacing all the numbers with symbols and weird shit, and I was like, "All right, this is never going to end. Fuck this game," and I uninstalled it.
No, and I love clickers. I also like auto battlers, like AFK Arena.
Yep.
It's a mobile tappy game. I just log in, do my stuff, log in. Oh, that's so good. And that's why I like the command boards in Warcraft, was because it was log in, do my stuff, log out.
The problem with the command boards is they were giving people way too much money.
It's not even that, actually.
Well, from what I understand, the biggest problem with command boards at first was...
So make the command board account bound rather than character bound, so you can't have 40 alts doing 40 command boards.
Yeah, that was the problem at first. And then they made it so that they paid out way less, and then people just stopped doing them.
I mean...
The thing is, I feel like any subsystem in Warcraft should never be required. Like, pet battles aren't required. It's there for people who want to do them, but you're not forced to pet battle to get to certain things.
I mean, it's...
And so similarly, if the command board is not required, just there for people who like it, I think that'd be fine.
It wasn't in Shadowlands.
What wasn't?
The command table.
Yeah, there wasn't one in...
There was nothing you had to do with the command table.
No, there was.
No, there wasn't.
There was. Kinda, because I remember going to Revendreth, and there was I'm going to call it the command board, where I would send my little vampire people out on quests, and they kind of smacked into each other like battle style.
It wasn't required, though. I got through the entire Ardenweald campaign without ever touching that thing.
Which is perfectly fine. If you don't want to do it, you shouldn't have to.
But that was the thing, is that it wasn't required. And you said it was.
If I did, I misspoke, and I'm sorry.
That's all right.
All right, anyway, we should wrap this up.
Indeed.
Because we've reached 2 hours and 10 minutes.
2 hours. Any final thoughts?
Hashtag Ray hates games.
Since we're never going to talk about Warcraft ever again.
Until part 3, when, like...
We may revisit basically right before the next expansion, where we can talk about the entirety of Dragonflight, since it's all
which will be
out
like
at
3
that
years.
time. 2 years, I think. Is it a 2-year cycle?
Just... I think it's a 2-year cycle. It didn't mean to be a 2-year cycle a long time ago, but it ended up being.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I wish Blizzard nothing but the best. I know that they're dealing with a lot of bullshit right now. A lot of internal drama, a lot of allegations, which unfortunately, people seem to think of Blizzard as like one single person. You know, like, this is Blizzard, and he's
Disclaimer, we're not here to tell you who you should and should not support. Do your own research if you want to, whatever. We're just here to talk about the universes that these people have created.
Don't eat it, Chick-fil-A.
My personal...
There's this sandwich that's really good, but if you eat it, it means you hate gay people?
Yeah.
My personal opinion is that too many people look at Blizzard as if it's a single person. That they can point at it and go, sexual harassment. And it's like, yes, there are a lot of people within Blizzard that did that, and most of them have been fired or quit in shame. There are...
Bobby Kotick still has a job.
Well, he's a fucking asshole and things that I can't say. But there are a lot of people who worked on Dragonflight who are wonderful people. I watched some interviews with some of the developers, and they poured their heart and soul into this game, and they don't deserve to have people go, Blizzard's a fucking horrible company. Fuck Blizzard. And the thing is that I wish Blizzard nothing but the best, and I hope they can move past all this. I know that aside from all the allegations and scandals, they're also dealing with the China situation, where they got their basically but in a weird way, I think this is best for them, because the more Western companies that realize that it's just kind of a waste of time to cater to Chinese audiences. I mean, you see what was it, NetEase? Is it NetEase that they basically just stole the entirety of Warcraft, and they just made their own MMO. And the thing is they released a trailer the day after they were like, no, fuck you. So it's like they've been working on this for a while. They made a deal with Blizzard.
They were waiting for it to time out.
They made a deal with Blizzard long enough to steal a lot of their assets and ideas. Then when the deal fell through, because they were probably never going to finalize it, they immediately released a trailer for their World of Warcraft ripoff, where shot for shot during their cutscenes, they have stolen World of Warcraft assets. And it's like, China was always going to do this. China doesn't want to be reliant on their entertainment from sources they can't control. And that sucks for Blizzard. I can't even imagine being a Blizzard employee and watching a video of a bunch of, NetEase employees destroying your statue. Like, that's petty and fucking horrible. But, that's just what happens. And it's like, the more companies realize that it's not worth catering to, a bunch of thieves, it's like, good. Now focus more on your actual player base here. The good things. And it's like, Blizzard needs to hire more fucking GMs, which
they need to hire more people who play the game.
More people who play the game, because
you should make me a GM.
When I first started playing World of Warcraft, I did put in a support ticket for a monster that I hadn't seen spawn in a week. And I put in a support ticket because I naively thought I could convince a GM to spawn the monster for me so I could tame it. It took 8 days to get a response. And the GM was like, no, it's still there. And I was like, okay. And then I went to the location and it popped up. So I was like, okay. But it took 8 days. When I submitted a trouble ticket like a week ago for something, I forget what it was. Oh, it was the Sliver of N'Zoth toy. When I took 2 days. So their response times are coming down. But they're still, for the most part, AI generated. The first thing when you submit a ticket is it automatically kicks it back to you and says, did you check the forums? And it's like, yes, many times. And so you immediately reopen the ticket. So you, as a player, you start to learn that if you want anything done, or if you want a real person to look at your fucking ticket, you need to kick the ticket back like 6 times, which thankfully is really quick in each instance. But then a GM will finally see your ticket. With the N'Zoth thing, I got a GM the very first time. I submitted a ticket, and a GM who introduced himself responded directly to my questions, so I knew it wasn't like an auto response. And then when I said that didn't really help, but I appreciate it, I escalated the ticket, and I got another GM. And he basically told me that the problem was that I didn't do it in the right zone. So yeah. I used Kalina. I murdered Kalina 10 times in a row in Vale of whatever the fuck in.
You also did wait until her no honor debuff wore off, right?
But I killed her 10 times in a row in Pandaland, in the N'Zoth area where I had the buff, the Soldier of the Horde. The GM response was that I should have done it in Kultiris or Zandalar, neither of which she has access to. So it's like, interesting. Okay.
The whole not having access to Zones of Warcraft, I think, is an artifact from the way the game used to be, and then when they did the level crunch, it kind of broke some things. Again, why I'm tinfoil hat Warcraft 2 time. We need to fix a lot of this back-end stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway.
One thing I will say on the game, I just thought of it, is I want to say some good things about it because I've done a lot of complaining.
That's what you do.
My complaints are unique to me. What I will say I love about the game, like, it's fun. I still play it. I'm not going to get sick and tired of it for at least a while. I'll eventually get tired, take a few months break, and then come back, because that's how I do games. But I still love the game for what it is. I love the fact that healers are healers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
You, Final Fantasy. In Final Fantasy, healers are just green DPS. Don't you dare touch your cure button, because that means you're losing DPS uptime. And you can actually get white mages who will out DPS actual DPS classes. I love how in Warcraft, healers are healers. They will never top DPS, or something's really wrong with your group.
They still want you to do some DPS, though.
You should always be casting, mana permitting, but your primary job is to heal.
Keep in mind, Nomad, that in Final Fantasy, like, let's say White Mage, for example, all right? So the tank would typically pull 2 to 3 groups if they were a good tank. And if you had a White Mage, the White Mage's job was now to stand in the middle of the fucking pack and non-stop cast Holy.
The white mage should never use a global cooldown heal. Any heal they use should always be off the global cooldown so that you're never losing a DPS caster.
The white mage was basically a green DPS. In fact, all of them were green DPSs. The astrologian was there to cast buffs every once in a while and then go right back to DPSing. And
yeah, never use your repeatable healing. You only ever get to use your heals that are on like 30-second plus cooldowns. Because that's all you should ever need.
And it created a toxic environment where, because I am not good at healing. I find it way too stressful. And, playing as a healer...
It can be.
Yeah, playing as a healer in Final Fantasy, and it's like, if I'm not doing enough damage as a healer, they're like, yo, healer, what the fuck? And it's like, I'm here to heal,
It's like, I would hate this, but at that point, just get rid of healing as a job and just give everybody more self-sustain. You just want everybody to be a DPS anyway.
The group size is only 4, which that was a big surprise switching over to World of Warcraft. I was like, ooh, an extra DPS, sweet.
Because the tanks and heals do no damage, so you need the DPS.
Whereas in Final Fantasy, the tank is expected to do X amount of damage,
But yeah, so I love how in Warcraft the healers are healers. I love in Warcraft how the classes have specs and there's actually choices you can make that matter. Like you can have a different build than somebody else. Yep. Understandably, top 1% will always be this build and nothing else, but for the casual gamer, you have choices you can make, and that's wonderful. And I love how Druid can be heal, tank, or DPS, I mean, what you want to do. Paladin can do the same thing. Monks also. Demon Hunter can be heal or DPS. There are some classes still, like Rogue and Hunter, that can only
I was going to say, Demon Hunter can't be healer.
Yeah. I misspoke. I meant to say tank. I'm sorry. So I love that. I love the race choices in Warcraft. Final Fantasy got Hrothgar, which is,
everything
great,
else. Everything else is Nico trash.
Everything, yeah.
Cat boys.
Yeah. I wish in Warcraft we will get more interesting races, and by interesting I mean not human, not elf, not dwarf.
Ray and I are both in agreement.
That's how it's
Ray and I are both in agreement that they need to just lean into the races that don't have
transmog.
Good transmog options. Same thing as Drakthir. Maybe belts and shoulder pads. Done. And then put Nagas in the game. Put Arakoa in the game.
They need to add Naga, Arakoa, Tolvir, Null, Tuskar for those who want it. The spider things that Anubarak was.
He just found that out yesterday. Like that there are lots of.
There's friendly spiders.
Yeah.
But yeah, just all these races, just let them all be playable. And you can have when you click to create a new character, you have your current screen with like, here's your 12 races and your 8 allied races that can all basically use transmog. But you know what? In the top right corner, there's a little button that says monster races. And you click that and a warning screen pops up saying, just so you know, none of these races can use transmog, accept or decline. If you accept, then boom, 40 more races, just every fucking model in the game.
Well, not every model, but
it's I know what you mean, though.
And that would be sweet.
Yeah.
It's
like the people that want to transmog, they can stick to the boring ass human if they want to. The people that just want to be a freaking null, can be a null.
I realize this might upset people who whatever, but the fact that every once in a while, because again, I check the subreddit all the time, the amount of people who are angry that Worgen and Drakthir have to be in their Drakthir or Worgen form to do fighting, and then they get mad that they can't just stay human the whole time. It's like, then just fucking play a human. If you are upset that you're turning into a dragon when you cast spells, go fuck yourself. You're supposed to pick this class because you like dragons, not because you want to be a goddamn elf. If you want to be an elf, then play a fucking elf. It pisses me off. They're like, I wish I could just stay in human form all the time. Then play a human!
And also the people who complain about Drakthir not having good glamours or transmogs or whatever, it's like, I understand that glamour and transmog is important to you. It's not important to me. I would rather be a more interesting race. We can each have our own preferences, and if they add, hey, here's 10 new races that have no transmog for those that want it, that wasn't made for
important.
You. Just like,
Transmog
apparently this game, if you can sit there and yell at me that I am not allowed to complain about the crafting system because it wasn't made for me, then that's fine. I can say that these races were not made for you.
I only care about the transmog system when it's eligible. I made Bantam as a Drakthir, and I still loved him. And I made sure that every single time I got new shoulders or belts, I transmogged it off. And it's like,
Yeah, he stopped playing as Drakthir because
I stopped playing as Drakthir because I don't like mages. I don't like casting. I don't like having to stand still and watch a bar fill up. I loved playing as a machinist in Final Fantasy because I could run around and just constantly shoot bullets, and I didn't have to worry about positioning. Same thing with like Bard and Dancer, but in Warcraft, playing as a hunter is just and they're like, yeah, but survivalist, and I'm like, no, that's melee, fuck off. I want nothing to do with that. They're like, oh, but if you play marksman, you can not have a pet and do more damage. Nope. I get 2 pets. Fuck you.
Yep. It is a rather interesting thing of just I still think you should play a survivalist just for a little bit, just to
I did try it.
You should.
And I died immediately. I was like,
wow.
Not very survivable.
So the funny thing is that I've been looking at the parse lists and success rates in raids and mythics and stuff, and survivalist is like all the way at the bottom. But the people who main that say that they consistently do way more damage than anyone else, and I have seen a huge disparity because during a raid at one point I could not out DPS the survivalist hunter. There was one when we were killing Taros, the second wing of the raid, and this dude fucking out DPS'd everybody by a huge margin. And it's like, yeah, if you know how to play it, yeah, but
I've seen the same thing with shamans. Like, shaman class is in shambles right now, but people say when they see a shaman healer in like a random whatever, it usually ends up being a really, really good healer, because the only people who are sticking with shamans right now are the people that love and know the class.
And they will roll with the punches, and they will deal with any nerfs that they get, and they will make it work. And the thing is that I don't like struggling in MMOs, even in Final Fantasy so in Final Fantasy, every once in a while you'll have to do a solo instance quest, where an NPC will have a glowing circle underneath them, which means that you need to drop your party and you need to go in by yourself. And if you fail, you have to restart the whole instance over. But when you talk to the NPC to start it again, it's like, hey, do you want to lower the difficulty? And you can lower the difficulty to very easy, where basically you can stand there with 20 enemies beating on you and you're not going to die. And every single time I would go into a solo instance, immediately quit, back out, go talk to the NPC again, and then lower the difficulty down to easy, because I was playing Final Fantasy for the story, not for the challenge. Whereas in Warcraft, I feel like Beastmaster Hunter is the same thing. I've heard a lot of like joking or disparaging comments about Beastmaster Hunter being easy mode, and it's like, yeah, it is. I love it.
It is.
And I feel bad because it makes Ray upset when there are times where I'm in a group with Ray, but we're nowhere near each other, and I'm doing something and he's doing something, and I'll watch his health just chunk, dead.
So you're allowed to have your easy mode character. That's not what upsets me. What upsets me is the fact that this content I'm trying to do, I can't do solo. And I know Nomad's response, it's an MMO, you shouldn't be able to do it solo.
But the problem is that there are races that are classes that can. Very easily.
What aren't you able to solo?
What?
What aren't you able to solo?
Usually elite mobs, but again, I get that. It's an elite mob, you shouldn't be able to solo.
As a paladin?
There was one time...
No, as a Drakthir.
As whoever. Yeah. Like, if there was one night where I had to go to the Obsidian Citadel because I needed to get the key to do the weekly thing for Sibelian or whatever, right? And there was nobody in sight, nobody else doing it. I couldn't kill anybody, anything. They kept kicking my butt. And I recently discovered that if I go as a tank spec, I won't die, and I can kill these things, but it is so ungodly slow. That,
here's the thing, Nomad.
As a Drakthir, there's no tank.
Yeah, I know, but that's the problem. Is if I was
he means yeah.
Like if I went to protection paladin, I wouldn't die. I'd be able to kill. I'd be able to solo the stuff.
Yeah.
I must have changed topic.
Here's the thing, Nomad. Ray has watched me solo level 72 World Boss Elites. Solo them.
I can do that as my ret paladin.
And it's like, but not every class can do that. I have.
As long as they don't have 2 billion health, I'll be all right.
The more people that show up, the more health it gets. But if I'm by myself,
So the point is, like, Drakthir has no tank spec. A hunter has Beastmaster, so that kind of doesn't really count. Rogue's got no tank spec. Mages don't have one. It's like, so like these people probably couldn't solo a lot of this content, which I understand it's an MMO and you're supposed to team up with random people in the overworld, but like, what if there's no one doing it at the time?
Yeah.
I mean, then the game itself has failed.
Well,
but that's kind of the whole point.
No, the game itself hasn't failed. It's all this boils down to being my fault. It really does, because I kept searching servers for a name that I liked, and I happen to pick.
Well, the population doesn't matter because we'll see people from other servers on our overworld. That doesn't matter that much. That's a sharding issue, which I don't understand how that works exactly. But whatever. The point is, like, Warcraft isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon. It's not going to die. But if it was a less popular game that was under the threat of dying, then the fact that you couldn't solo stuff would be even more dangerous, because eventually there won't be enough players to help you do this stuff. Not a problem for Warcraft, but just a point of thought in general. That these games, even though they're MMOs, should be soloable by anybody for overworld content.
Yeah.
I disagree there, but that's just me.
I always feel bad whenever I'll like I said, I'll be over like in fucking Azure Span or something, and Ray will be up in Waking Shores or whatever, and I just watch his health just dead, and then I'll hear him go, and I'm like, do you want help? And I always feel like I'm asking because I want him to, be happy, but I can understand that me asking is just compounding the problem for him. That I can swoop.
I shouldn't have to have help. I should
well,
be able to
it's
use
because
on my own.
No, it's because it's because I can swoop in and fucking annihilate it. It's like I have soloed levels. I soloed the Forgotten Griffin by myself, and it killed my pets eventually. And all I did was turtle up and use Survival of the Fittest, resummon my pets, which took all of 3 seconds to revive them, and then send them back out, and they immediately taunt the boss off me, and then I can reposition and just finish it off. It's like, as a Beastmaster Hunter, if you die, it's because you got CC'd and you couldn't resummon your pets. If your pets are alive, you are going to win. And even when, like, if I activate not Bloodlust, whatever the fucking thing that makes my pets red and makes them big, they also get leech. So they basically can't die. And so the amount of easy mode bullshit that my character class is just kind of, it feels like rubbing it in. And I don't mean to. It's like, I want Ray to have fun. If he wants something to die, I'm going to swoop in and kill it for him. But it makes his class feel inadequate.
I mean, as a Ret Paladin, I can smash through all of them.
Kick your ass. Let's go. I
mean, now we're talking PvP.
A Beastmaster Hunter in PvP is always going to lose because you just ignore my pets and kill me.
Yeah. Turns out your pets don't do enough meaningful damage.
Yeah. It's like, I always thought, like, wow, yeah, Beastmaster's so easy in overworld content, and I started queuing up for PvP, and as soon as I landed, I sent my pets after someone, and it was a Fury Warrior, and he just ignored my pets, jumped at me, and just beat me to death, and I'm like, hey, you're not allowed to do that.
That's not.
And then I'm like, oh, wait.
You can't ignore
the tank, which is my pets.
Yep.
One of the most fun things, I don't like PvP. I don't like, whatever, but I was on the Timeless Isle at one point, and I was there to kill Hulan for a chance at the mount. And when I showed up, and I'm in war mode, mind you, and so when I showed up, there was an Alliance Druid, and he saw me, and he was level 70 as well, but he must not have had any faith in his equipment, because he hid behind a rock. Like, I saw him, but he hid behind a rock and he just stood there. And as I moved, he moved around the other side of the rock to always keep the rock between us. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I kept going. And I finally get to Hulan, and there was 4 people there, but they were all Horde. So I was like, oh. And they immediately invited me to a group, and they're like, you here to kill Hulan? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, all right, cool. We're waiting for him to spawn. And then a few minutes later, an Alliance player comes running down the hallway. And I go, Alliance on the way. And they're like, and one of them's like, yes! And they fucking dove on this dude and tore him to shreds. And then he respawned, and the respawn position was literally right there, right by Hulan.
Yep.
And so he respawned, and they just they went behind the little broken wall and just beat him down over and over and over until he stopped respawning. And
we have decided you can no longer play the game.
And so they all regroup over by Hulan, and the druid goes like, he mad. Alliance mad. And then
I
fucking hate PvP. It attracts the worst
a little
people.
while later, that person came back with 2 friends. And 5 Horde versus 3 Alliance, we still kicked their ass. And the best part is that I was able to CC them and stay far, far away while the others beat the crap out of them. And that 3v5 only happened once, and they just stopped showing up. And at one point, the druid asked to duel me, and I was like, all right. And so we were dueling, and he fucking annihilated me in like 3 seconds. And he goes, wow, you put up pretty good fight. And he goes, oh my god, you're not wearing any PvP gear. And I'm like, what the fuck is PvP gear? He's like, oh, it's when you're in, he goes, when you're in war mode, you have gear that just gets better. And I'm like, that's...
Yeah, I had 340 PvP gear because it was 340 and it was the best I could craft at the time. And this was like on my warrior who had like little itty bitty baby gear because he just barely reached the point where he can do mythics. So he had 340 gear, but the PvP gear says, when in Battlegrounds or War mode or whatever, this gear becomes 398. I'm like, 398? That's disgusting.
What does PvP gear become? Like right now, what is the highest level that a PvP gear can get?
I don't know.
I think it's like 330, something like that? Or 430?
No, 430.
No. Yeah, probably like 430, yeah.
But it was, the thing is I fully recognize how toxic the group was. Because they were just like, yes, Alliance, kill them.
And they were having fun because they were winning. Instead of coming back with 3 friends, he came back with 6 friends. Like, he got his little guild, and then they came web the floor with you guys. Now they control the Hulan spawn. Everybody there would have been salty and bitchy, and like, this isn't fair, or they're cheating.
I fully recognize it because I was... PvP is awful.
Disgusting.
I don't mind the PvP pitch, like 5v5 in an arena. That's fine. But PvP on the overworld can be real toxic. And it's like, yeah, what if I really wanted... The only reason I was in war mode was because the last time I wanted to tame Hulan. And to tame Hulan, there's always like 30 fucking people there at all times. And so I went into... So Ray suggested I go into war mode because it's a different shard. And when I went there, Hulan was just flying around. No one was there. So I tamed Hulan, and I was like, wow, that was incredibly fucking easy. And then I went and tamed Nalak on the Isle of fucking Thunder, and there was no one there either. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then I went back a couple days later to kill both of them by myself, and there were people camping out both of them in war mode. And I was like, oh. And just so happened they were all Horde, so that was lucky. But, yeah. Anyway,
just in time for Kaizen to arrive. We're going to close this up now.
Been 2 hours and 40 minutes.
We've been...
Rant.
Yeah.
Basically. But yeah, so thanks for joining us, listeners, for the part 2 on World of Warcraft. If you disagree with any of my complaints and comments like Nomad did, please let me know, because it means I got email. Bantam, how can they email us?
Give me a sec.
1.
Shut up. It's not,
2?
Oh my god. It's not keeping my save, because I switched to Firefox. None of my saved emails
3.
are working.
I'm pretty sure it's
@gmail.com. And I deleted my Twitter, because fuck Twitter.
I think Twitter's official WADpod.
Yeah.
@official WADpod.
And we'll have a Discord. It's going to be in the show notes.
And we have a Patreon,
World of Dragons
which is,
podcast.
World of Dragons podcast.
On Patreon. We did turn off.
I remembered all this stuff. That's your job. We turned off the billing for February to make up for us basically missing an episode last time and being sick now. This might get uploaded slightly late because I don't think I'm going to edit while I'm sick.
The thing was I told Ray like a half an hour before we started recording. I was like, should we still record? And Ray's like, well, you already announced it, so we guess so. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I was wondering, it's like, wait,
guys, we're coming back.
If Bantam is like dying in bed, how the fuck are we going to podcast?
Oh no, the thing is that I'm better. I woke up I woke up a couple, like an hour or two ago, or 2 hours ago, whatever. I woke up and it's like every day it's like rolling the dice, or spinning the roulette wheel of symptoms. And so the first night it was cold and shaking to the point where I felt like I was in a freezer. And the second night it was just head stuffiness and chest compression and difficulty breathing. Then the third night it was joint pain. And I like, that's what I have right now, is my left hip, right where my fucking femur connects to the pelvic bone. It feels like there's like shards of glass in there. It fucking hurts.
That was my COVID experience. Is that I had fever, chills, like it was just awful.
Yeah, I'm starting to get the symptoms. Like I don't know if I'm just better at fighting it off to it. Like I had it delayed beyond Bantam by a couple of days, or whatever. But like I now have I'm gonna slap you for that. I have a sore throat now and my stomach. I call it sensitive stomach, and by that I mean I'm not nauseous, but I feel like I could be at any moment if I eat the wrong thing.
Oh, it's gonna be my head forever.
It's
now.
It's a very common meme that I see. It's like, especially on Imgur, it's like when I wake up with a mild cough, the symptoms.
People go get your immunizations.
If anyone's curious, we've kind of nailed down where I got COVID. We went to Omega Mart in Vegas, and there's a lot of touching of a lot of things.
It could also have been the slot machines.
I don't think so, because the gestation period for COVID, I didn't start feeling anything until we had gotten home. And the last thing that we did was Omega Mart, and I didn't feel a fucking thing until we got home. And it was that night. So that's around 24 hours to...
And it could have just been randos that were there in the first place.
Yeah, like it could have been that fucking weird. Like the very last thing I did in Vegas, like in the slot, I was playing slot machines, playing my Dragon Spin, and I ended up hitting a mini game on a max bet, which got me a lot of money. And this guy came by and like leaned over and was like, "Hey, good job, man," and then walked away. And it's like, that could have been it.
It genuinely.
I hope that was it.
Genuinely could have been.
I hope it was literally the last person you interacted with on the entire trip.
It's like,
that is hilarious. You dodged it like a madman, and then guy. Poof,
I had a dream. I actually had a nightmare last night that I was walking around Vegas and I had the ability to see COVID, and there was a guy who saw me and started walking toward me, and I walked away, and he started chasing me, and I was fucking running through the casino as this dude fucking chased me down. Like, I have to infect you.
Anyway, again, thank you for joining us. There is our info. I want to give a thank you to all of our patrons, but a special shout out to our VIP patrons, which I forgot the last few episodes, so forgive me for that. But Kazan and Comrade, our two VIP patrons, thank you. Here's your shout out as advertised. Next episode, whenever that is, we'll see if it's delayed a little bit because of the sickies. Do we know what we want to do?
Yeah, we want to do Glide and My Father's Dragon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I guess we can do that. All right. It'll be a double feature because I don't know.
It'll be a quarter and 3/4
feature episode. Based something like that. Yeah. We're gonna play through the demo of Glide the Dragon, and we're going to watch the Netflix show My Father's Dragon.
And then make sure to demand more Nomad on the podcast.
I mean, at this point,
1 like equals 1 Nomad.
There we go.
Nomad.
But yeah, anyway, goodbye, people.
Peace out.